Welcome, you guys, to Discourse Syndicate. As always, our captain muted. Yo, what's going on?
God damn it, ahoy, crypto pirates! Welcome to your Discourse Syndicate, Captain RG3 at the switches, steering the ship into the rocks. And, well, Colt, I wanted to make sure that you guys were all okay today. I know I got a lot of phone calls and talked to a lot of people, and everybody's all up in arms.
Yeah,
crazy, feeling weird about the crazy crypto space. So I just wanted to bring you guys all back in, get you a little chant going so that you can all cult back in and settle your little brains.
play that again. Let's play that again, man. Let's go, man.
Well, there we go. You guys should all be meditated back into your good follower state. And yeah. So crypto goes apeshit crazy today.
Mm-hmm.
Everything freaking, we get some funky news article goes out. The electric bill comes due for all the freaking miners. The dump goes in and everybody panics and freaks out. Crypto Twitter goes crazy. 3-year bear market. Here's the 3-year bear market. All this crazy shit, right? So,
Right.
Guys, there's nothing new under the sun, man. We've seen all this shit before. The same song and dance, the same China FUD, the same news article FUD, the same running in and out of ETH and Bitcoin. And there's nothing new under the sun. They're doing the same shit they did before. When did I not tell you yesterday? I jumped on your guys' stream. You were streaming
Right,
with
right. Ryan and everybody. Yeah.
I said, it's fake. Here it comes. Here comes your dip's coming. Well, not even 24 hours later, the dip was in. I mean,
Right.
it's almost predictable. If I was a trader, I might do good. Shit.
I mean, it's, you've gotten the experience. I mean, when you spend enough time on the sidelines not trading, you start seeing how
yeah, you see the cycles. You're not so concerned about the cycles, and you just see them coming, and you watch them come and go. Like, oh, here comes the wave. Oh,
and I was a little disappointed. Like, I thought that's it. Like $8,000. That's it. This is why we're crying. Like, everyone's acting like a little girl. Like,
I know it's still sitting at what, 34K. Bitcoin.
Yeah, like, oh my god, I'm so poor now.
Hex retraced back to its. Let's see where we're at. Look at that. Right back into.
Shout out to all my real Hexicans that bought under a penny. Mwah.
So Hexo calls me today,
Right?
And it was right around lunchtime, and we were talking. And he's like, "All right, bro, dips in. I'm buying." And right there, he bought right on the phone with me, and fucking price started going right up. Right after he bought, the price started going back up. And he's like, "Oh, got mine later, bro." And he got the I watched him do it. I was on the phone with him, literally on the phone with him, and he bought the dip, and it started going up. He's like, "Oh, my work's done here. I'll catch you later, bro. I gotta go mess with the kids." He bought it straight at the bottom, man. Straight at the bottom, right on the phone with me. I'm like verifying it right now.
Hexo probably bought the bottom too. That dude has the best luck when it comes to buying dips.
Who?
Hexo.
That's who I just said. What are you fucking deaf?
I thought you said someone else. You fucking.
No, it's an Hexo.
I did not hear that, dude.
Oh.
It must be like everyone in the chat right now is like freaking out. Like, who's this guy? Like, Dollar Cost is talking to. I don't recognize this beardless dude.
Yeah. I shaved it off. Every once in a while, I just have to like clean it up because it just bug. I don't know. I like it. I need it because I got no lips or whatever. But yeah. And all right. So let's. We got some cutthroats in the room. I was waiting for Maddie and Joe. They were supposed to jump on here for a moment.
Right.
I haven't. Is this RG4? Yeah. It is. No, I don't know what happened to him. So we will bring our cutthroats up. We've got two of the wild ones, two of the OGs. We got Gary and Johnny. Look who now look who shows up.
Now he shows up.
Both of them.
Who's the wild one?
Like clockwork. Both of you freaking clowns. Both of you.
Who's gonna be more wild in the near future out of the four of us? Who's had their wild days in the past and who has them in the future?
I'm done, man. I'm fucking washed up. I'm done.
You're done.
I survived it and lived through it, so I'm good, man. I'm good. You guys, I'm gonna live vicariously through all of you guys and all the youngsters in the chat room. That's what I'm gonna do.
Your kid's invested. Your kid is invested in Hex, and he's a young man. So you're gonna have to.
But see, he's smarter than I am. He's got his shit together. My boy's got his shit together. He's not like me. He's square. All right, let me pull these two guys up because they got something to say, man. Let me see. Hey, what's up, Joe and Maddie? How you guys doing?
Hey guys.
Doing good, brother. How's everybody? Good to see everyone.
We're good, man. We're good. Maddie said that you guys had some info for us. You guys had something that you wanted to pass on to us. So let's have it.
Little project we've been working on. Maddie doesn't stop, one thing after the other. So I'm lucky.
We got another project, Maddie. Does this require me doing something?
Oh, just a keynote or two.
I couldn't believe when I was like, a keynote. And then I looked it up and it's like, oh, I got to do an hour-long talk to the camera by myself without talking to anybody or anything. I was like, well, this is going to be interesting. And then I looked up and it was an hour. I was like, cool. Done.
And you crushed it, RG. That was
incredible. You guys all did so great.
Yeah, I watched your keynote 5 times now. I've gone through that 5 times, just that 1 hour.
Mine?
Yes, just your 1 hour. That was amazing. You did really well.
Thank you. I haven't watched it. I don't watch any of my shit. I never watch one of these streams. I swear, I've never watched one of our streams.
It's because you're like Denzel Washington. He says he never watches his movies. Maybe you got that for you.
I get. I might not do it anymore if I watch it. Like, the fuck did you just say? Did you really just say that? No, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
It was good. It was very authentic. And like I said, everybody commented that Joe was going to have a heart attack over the cursing, but it was real.
Hold on. Let's unmute Johnny because he keeps talking, but he's. Hey Johnny, you were muted that whole time. What's going on, bud?
That's not a surprise. No, I was just going to say you encompassed all the bitterness that I wanted to project in that speech. So there was really no purpose for me to be on that show that night. I think you pretty much covered it all. So it was cool.
It's like that every time you and I are on the same stream, Johnny. It's like a little bit too much bitter and salty when you and I are on stream together. It's like you can only handle like one of us for a certain amount of time. Yeah.
Yo, what's going on, Papa? My brother Boner from another Moaner.
Oh yeah. I love that. My boner from another moaner. All right.
I'm gonna tickle Maddie and slather you guys both with gratitude. Amazing job.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Everybody did an incredible job. It was incredible to be a part of.
Did I say Knipples on your show today, Maddie? I mean, Joe.
Yeah. We just finished. It was awesome. Definitely.
You ain't gonna fix that thing. So I don't think that you should have even attempted. Your show's for helping people who are willing to be helped, and Knipples is not. He's constitutionally incapable of grasping and developing a manner.
I learned he was
himself.
He said
I
you
learned
might
that he was
do
a
that.
pop locker. He had his breakdancing days and all that stuff. I want to see some old video of.
Oh God, he was a
breakdancing.
break dancer. Oh,
He was a break dancer, parachute pants and everything.
oh jeez.
Yeah, we had a good time. We learned a lot. It was a very, very cool episode. He's an incredible guy, as you guys all know.
He's one of the best. He's one of the best. He's going to be on at 5:00 tomorrow morning. So for all of you Europeans and Asians and all you out there that Australians, he's going to be on at 5:00 Mountain Time, and he has to get on early. So if you guys, the time is changing, just to let you guys know.
You remember those first shows when Kinetics would come on and he would sit there for hours and not say a word? You remember like the very first shows? It's like we couldn't get him to talk even if we poked him.
Now he can't shut his ass up.
It's changed a lot. It's changed a lot.
Well, we've all been together for a year now, and a lot of things have changed. Our bags have changed drastically. Everything that we've done here on the show has changed. The whole community has changed. We're growing tighter and tighter. We're taking over crypto. It's like first they hated us, and then they just tried to ignore us, and now they're like, oh my God, we can't get rid of these guys, and they ain't going nowhere, and the goddamn coin ain't going nowhere, and it's still sitting on the freaking charts, and shit.
Did you guys comment? I don't know if you did it in other streams that about Shapeshift and Eric Voorhees adding Hex to Shapeshift today. Did you see that?
He did, huh?
Yeah.
Right on. Hey, tip of the hat to you, Mr. Voorhees. Thank you. That's mighty big of you to have done that.
So he obviously he got in trouble over the past year, it was supposed to be independent. He got in trouble, I guess, as far as securities, and he ended up taking off a lot of Shapeshift coins that people were, these ICOs and things like that were relying on before. Right. And then one of the core hexagons, I won't reveal who it is, maybe one day they'll reveal themselves, has done so many referrals to Shapeshift, not because of Hex, but in the past, and has this closer connection supposedly with Eric. And so he had been messaging with him, and then he had messaged back and said, hey, that he was going to announce it next month or a few weeks from now that Hex was added to Shapeshift. But because he's getting so much pressure from a core hexagon, somebody that you would recognize right away, then they got added today. So that was pretty cool.
Nice. Good job. I know who that was.
He was one of the few people to actually have a decent conversation with Richard back in the day when Hex was barely launching and stuff. And I think he's a secret holder of Hex, but whatever. I'll keep it at that.
Yeah. He's an interesting guy. I've seen him do public speaking and things like that in Puerto Rico, but I've never met him directly.
He's got really nice hair too. I'm being serious. I was like, oh, he's got good hair. I'm saying.
How about those liquidity numbers, guys? How about it only takes 1.4 million to send us 10x?
Wow.
I've talked to a lot of people today about the liquidity issue.
Yes.
It's really not an issue. It's just a matter of what's going to happen.
Well, it's like this too. Okay. Let's say worst case scenario happens, and now that we have a lowered liquidity, somebody sells 1.4 million. That means we get 90% off Hex. And it will last approximately 2.5 seconds.
That's for sure.
Yeah, if you get your buy orders set up now on buying.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting sort of situation now, because I guess now the dominant pair is what, Hex to USDC, correct?
Yeah.
It's even. It's even. He's got there's only 105 million Hex available on Uniswap. That means
that's crazy.
That, when people are saying that the OA is going to sell, no. You don't understand. The OA is not giving his stuff away for free.
No way.
You had the chance to buy it. Now you're going to pay greatly for it later because they're not giving it up. Because the OA doesn't have to sell you a damn thing. They don't have to sell you a damn thing. The only place to get it is from people that are willing to sell it to you. So good luck with that.
One interesting thing when it comes to, like, I guess now the USDC is a little bit higher now, it's or even now to Ethereum, is that it's actually a little easier to pump Hex actually with USD purchases than it is actually Ethereum purchases, because as your Ethereum goes up in value over time, you convert that to USDC, you have more USDC, and that goes in the pool, and the pool works the same way to Ethereum to Hex, just like Ethereum with Hex does the other side. So
it says
so the liquidity that got added on USDC went from when Richard made a comment about it of being 400,000 to being almost 2 million now. I think it's like 2 million. So people were listening to the conference and then said, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." Like $2 million into the USDC pair.
Yeah, it's kind of nice and stuff too, because as I guess, just depending on how you look at it, it would be, it's as eventually, not now, obviously now it's kind of on sale right now, but over time when Ethereum's price goes above, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, it's people's purchases of Ethereum go from full Ethereums to half an Ethereum to at one point a tenth of Ethereum for the average investor, right? So with USDC, it's always $1. So, you can, as your cryptocurrencies go up in value, you just sell out of your cryptocurrencies into a USDC through Uniswap and then purchase on that exchange. And then whatever happens in the market, if we're trending upwards, that money can more easily flow into Hex like that. So it's beautiful. I think it's kind of cool. And then now you have two options. Now you can sell either in USDC or Ethereum. It's beautiful, or WETH. I'm not sure how liquid the WETH side is, but I'd have to take a look. Because I know Richard had talked about it, saying it's a little bit cheaper just to buy in WETH.
He was talking about the cheat thing. He talked about getting 44% off your gas cost as well.
Yeah.
So that's in his Twitter. If anybody's watching, they should look at his Twitter and decipher what he means.
Yeah.
Did you guys
it's that Chi on 1 inch exchange? Activate the Chi. The Chi saves you on gas rates.
Yeah, I did it today. Once a week, I do a buy. And coincidentally, when he was saying something about Hexo buying the low, today was my buy day. So I got the low too. That was cool. But I do it once a week. So it worked out pretty good timing.
I was gonna say,
but also many people may know, they may not know. I'm not going to comment about where they can find it because it's still beta. I've used it, but it's still beta, where you can do limit orders. So I know that some people are saying that they're putting a low buy, right? So if it goes low, then it automatically buys in the middle of the night. They don't even think about it, but it just happens, right? It's a limit order. But they're also doing the same thing with the sell. They're like, okay, if it goes up a bit, it'll sell. If it goes down a bit, it'll sell. And I was like, yeah, I guess that could work out, but I ain't got anything to fucking sell because I'm staked.
Thank you.
Shut up. I don't want to hear your noise.
I think the best place to be right now is staked because it's like
I'll make more than traders just by being staked. Yeah,
it's $6 million to move the price up 100x. Think about that. We could
There's
literally
a lot of people that live in a house that just has equity like that. It just takes one person.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to fathom the 100x yet. I'm trying to still work my way through that. It can happen like at any time. We got those big ETH whales just sitting out there with like 63 million worth of ETH, $63 million worth of ETH. They could just go, hey, I see that. I think I'm just going to go ahead and pick that up today. Yes.
Yeah.
That would put it over Bitcoin, wouldn't it? In market cap, 100x.
Oh, if 6 million buy puts our market cap over Bitcoin's market cap. Yes.
But that would put us still on page 3 from CoinMarket.
Yeah. If the general person that looks at any of these things saw the number, they would shit. They were like, holy moly, how did I miss this? Right. So yeah, I don't know how that would work out as far as the gatekeepers.
This next 10x that happens, it's pretty insane. So, and basically anyone with over 10 million hex, when it goes to 10 cents, will at least be worth, $1 million now. That's wonderful. Whether you're staked or not staked, if you're staked, it's even more because we're getting interest on top of that. But you're going to start seeing a lot of printed millionaires in the next year. with the next run up. It's
People don't understand how it becomes normalized. People don't understand how things that are considered collateral or cash flow become normalized in legacy markets when it comes to real estate, especially. I like talking about real estate because it's the easiest to get access to something that can produce revenue for you. It can be cash flow kind of property, or it can, again, some people consider it store of value. Wealthy people consider it store of value. If it's above a $5 million house, to them, that market doesn't move very much. You'll see prices actually stay very stable, even in a financial collapse. You won't see the expensive houses drop in price. You'll see the middle and the low that drops in price. So it's one of those things I'm not necessarily advocating, but I'm saying that if people come out of a significant amount because it's timed and it's just normally out of Hex contract, if they had it out for like 30 days, liquidated as cash or whatever, then that could be the down payment. They can show the cash flow because they have the rest in a ladder form that comes out, whatever their ladder might be, and they can buy like apartment complexes. They don't have to buy stuff that's just their fancy lifestyle. They can buy revenue that stacks on top of Hex revenue. So there's a lot of things that'll be parlay and kind of feed into each other over the next 1 to 3 years. I mean, in the Hex community, I think.
Got it.
Wow.
What's going on here?
So I wanted, if you do have a chance, can you play the Ben Mallah thing? Because I wanted to talk about who Ben Mallah is. Does anybody in this room know who Ben Mallah is?
I know Ben Mallah a lot. That angry.
So before you play it, let me say this. So Ben Mallah started in New York. He's like a 53, 54-year-old guy. He's very gruff. He's very similar to Richard Hart as far as like gruff, as far as like he's not going to bullshit you kind of guy. He's similar to RG3 in personality in a lot of ways, but he's an honest general kind of guy.
But he's an honest general kind of guy.
I think so. I think he talks pretty straight. But
Ben
he has,
Mallah is fucking amazing. He's an amazing guy.
Ben Mallah is pretty cool.
Yeah, he has his whole series and stuff with him and his family in terms of the real, like him doing real estate, him like kicking his kids' asses for fucking up on jobs. Like it's like a family. It really is like a more honest real estate family show. It really is like him essentially showing his kids, like, hey, this is how you do the real estate stuff. Like I mean, there's his son there's his youngest son right there in the stream. I like Ben Mallah a lot. He's dope ass.
Steph Graham and all these other people that are like cyber influencers, they want to meet him and they went and did videos with him and stuff like that. But his portfolio is about $150 million of real estate in Tampa area. And he was a New York guy. He was a veteran. He used VA loans to start his real estate portfolio. He started with like fourplexes, like I advocate that if you're going to buy your first house as a veteran, buy a fourplex. He goes through that life story over the past like 5 or 6 years that he's been at least on YouTube. Somebody just came to do a documentary on him, and then they decided to turn it into a YouTube thing. He didn't care about anything other than, okay, I'll let you do your documentary. And then it morphed into like this YouTube kind of persona. But today I was doing my buy. Actually, I wasn't even from my computer most of the day. I was out at the beach and stuff. And then I came in to do my Hex buy, and I noticed that he was doing a stream. And what I remembered was, oh, Motley got on this stream and he did like a little contribution thing or whatever, and he ended up getting a shout out. So when Motley did that thing, so I did the same thing. If you want to play it where people can hear what he says, it's like 3 seconds or whatever.
Nice setup.
Nope, no sound.
Your YouTube sound's down, RG.
No,
put out.
He's got to put it on the tab and then hit the audio button. I did the same thing. I messed up before.
No, where the fuck did it go?
Making my way downtown through YouTube. Da-na-na-na-na. Everyone's real quiet. I don't
Hey, Gary, you can have your talk. I've got my ghost in the background here. This is not a green screen. This is happening behind me here.
Yeah, I was making a thumbnail for your. I'm going to do your thing with you, and I was trying to find something like this on your websites and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Okay, sure. Yeah, here we go.
That's cool.
App window. There we are. Where's the
Johnny? Are any of your skeletons real?
No.
I found out recently that the first skeletons used in Pirates of the Caribbean in Disneyland were actual cadaver bones.
Yeah. There was a rumor that there was actually a haunted house that had a real corpse.
Oh man, what?
The wrong tab.
Inside the studio.
Yeah, I don't know why this is fucking. Hold on.
Wrong Chrome tab.
God
You want-
damn it, guys? I know what I'm fucking wrong. Shut up.
Do you want me to play it?
Nah, hold on a second.
Okay.
God. I'm fucking looking at it. No shit, it's wrong. Fucking guys. There it is.
Technical.
There's no fucking sound on that one. Hold on a second.
Hey Joe,
You
while
gotta put it
we're
in the
waiting,
Chrome tab.
no chance.
There's the sound. There we go. All right, let's play Ben Mallah.
Found Funding Jim, thank you for the $100.
Turn the sound up.
Message me to talk with Richard Hart. I made $500,000 just this year with HEX.
With HEF, Heifer?
X.
X,
HEX.
X. Well, I need to look into it, but it's still that crypto stuff, and I don't understand it. So I don't know. It's hard, I like to know what the hell I'm doing when I'm just laying that money down. But thank you very much for the donation or the money, and we'll put it to good cause. What else you got?
Hang on, keep going.
Somebody would have put a fucking hex on me and told me to made me buy hex. The only hex I get is
Chad, thank you for $4.99.
That was it.
Dude, who's willing to buy it?
That was it. But he was saying someone should have told me a long time ago to buy Hex. God damn it, I'm pissed off now.
It would be more helpful if we could understand him a little bit better.
Yeah, I remember when Motley did tell him to buy Hex, so he did get told to buy Hex. He needs to go back and look at his
But
freaking
the thing is,
screen.
I had said Hex, and I never said crypto. There was nothing in my thing. He already knew that it was a crypto out of anything. He didn't say it was a stock. He didn't say it was like anything else. He said, "Oh, that crypto thing, right?" So it does become familiarity. Like what is when you hear and there's never a product in your horizon called Coca-Cola, but you kept hearing it, and kept hearing it, and kept hearing it. You finally like say, "Oh, what's that Coca-Cola shit they're talking about? How does that work? Right? What is that?" So it becomes normalized in your psychology just because you see billboards or you hear the word.
And the DS pump is in, guys. The DS pump is in.
Nice.
Yeah. This is why you tune in, you guys.
So all you dip buyers, the pump is in.
Oh, 13% in one day. Gee willikers, Batman.
13% ain't nothing to what's coming, and that's I'm just in disbelief right now myself, because it's like it only takes the tumblers to just line up just right.
It's
It
set up.
It
is set up.
So, Maddie, you came on here because you wanted to say something?
That's right. So Joe and I are here to announce and unveil our big thing that we're announcing.
Yeah,
you're gonna unveil a big thing for us, Maddie.
That's the biggest thing you've ever seen.
Maddie,
Boner for another moaner?
Whip out your thing for us, please.
Are you able to add this to the screen?
Let's see. Well, I'll give it a try.
Will it fit? The big unreveal?
Turn up the D penis
You're
eye.
talking full screen, right?
What do we?
So
Maddie. Okay.
Yeah, so Joe and I, we wanted to keep giving back and create something that's more interactive, and we really look up to Steph and Firebun doing the Staker app and making things that have social capital and to build the community and build our ideas of ranks is like such a cool idea to help us all understand the value of T-shares. And so Joe and I are unveiling now the Hex badges. And so you can go into MetaMask, and I've got an example here. You can go into your MetaMask on your phone and go to browser, and then go to t.me/hex badge. And then you hit the preview channel button there. And then it'll bring you to the link for Rarible, which is the NFT system that we're using. And then it brings you to this beautiful page where Joe's like the graphic designer here. And
shit.
we created badges for the community for the things that it seems like that people are most proud of. And so these are available now, and we wanted to see if we could give some of them away on the show here. And
Maddie, where do these badges go?
They go, so you'll be able to see here, because I'm going to show you how to buy them. But it runs through the Adoption Amplifier badge, Bitcoin Free Claim, Big Payday, Quattro Cinco Stake, Day One FOMO, and attended the first Hex conference. And for all of you who spoke at the first Hex conference, we'll pay the gas fee to send you a special speaker badge to commemorate you being a speaker at the first ever one. And then, but anybody who attended, they'll be able to buy one on here. And we've been testing it out, and like, you know, the fees were so high the other day, but we got a description for each of them. These are all like contracts that we launched that just work already. And so you tap on the one you want to buy, and then you hit MetaMask, and then you hit the buy now button, and then proceed to payment. And then what you want to do is like check this gas fee. It's like right now it's like maybe $18, and that might go down or it might be really high, but it just depends like what the system is. And then you hit purchase, and then it's like a party. Yay!
The party in your MetaMask wallet. Right there.
And so we're gonna see where this ends up, and the transaction gets submitted here, and then you can tweet. It has a button where you can just automatically tweet out that which one you've got, and then you can go back here to your wallet.
Right.
You're all familiar with the wallet, and then you go to collectibles over here next to tokens, and then you go to Rarible, and it will. That was like a test thing up there, but it's under Rarible, and then you can see all the badges that you've earned.
What do you know?
Gotten, and you can go into each of them and look at the description, and you can admire the artwork we've got for you, and you know, understand what you did to qualify for that. And you know, we're really excited about, you know, growing this and making it even more advanced, to be able to celebrate as a community all the things we're proud of having done, and things that are positive for, you know, Hex, positive for saving for our future. And then we want to continue to build this theme of mental health. And so we'll be able to maybe someday have badges that are directly related to mental health, and not just indirectly through the fact that having Hex and saving for your future is good for delaying gratification and, you know, making you think more long-term about your health behaviors.
So 5 years from now, all the influencers are going to go through and buy all of the Hex collectibles and go, look, guys, I was there all along.
Yeah, how much do you think we can resell some of these things for, man? How much can we pump these?
So we are designing these to try to make it so they don't get resold, right? Because they really don't have any value other than what it means to you. It's kind of like an AA token, like you heard Richard and I talk about. That, you know, it's not a positive thing to have people paying $15,000 for a crypto kitty. But if somebody's paying $10 or $20 for one of these badges, then you're able to celebrate that, and then that gives us a little bit to work with, because it cost a few $100s to launch all these, and that came from the donations from the conference, just in like, you know, launching the contracts and everything. But so it's and then we like tried to code it in a way where it would like charge you a really high fee to sell it to somebody else, so that way you just won't do that.
You'd have to donate all of the fee. So basically they would be unsellable once you own them, to keep that from happening. So there's 10,000 of each of the ones, except for the Day One FOMO. There's only 369 of them. So the idea is that it'd be a badge of honor, and I wouldn't want to go get my 1-year chip for my 12-step program that I just accomplished, right? Because if I didn't actually accomplish that, it would mean nothing. I would feel like a cheat. So this is like a social capital system in which you can go buy any badge you want, but what would a badge mean to you that, you didn't earn yourself? So that's what
it would be stolen valor.
Yeah, exactly.
Stolen valor. We have a lot of that.
Hey, Maddie,
And
where
so-
does the ETH go?
Well, you can see, right? Like it's all on chain. You can see that the ETH that created these contracts came from the donation address for the conference. And you can see that like Maddie Allen dot crypto, it's like registered with the same account. So you can see like who's running it. And so we're just trying to combine all these different technologies, but really the coolest thing is Hex and all of the things that we're proud of. Like, we just went through like a Quattro Cinco stake. Like that's something that should be celebrated.
We got that out of the way. Yep.
That where the ETH go thing, is it just me or does it give everybody the reaction when you hear that? You just want to shake somebody to death.
It does. That's why I had to ask it.
Where's the ETH go?
It really isn't a conversation piece anymore. I really hardly ever hear it anymore.
So
I don't even have to bring it up because the AA isn't something that gets commented about anymore.
That could be a future badge then, Gary. Have you ever brought up in Discourse Syndicate chat, where does the ETH go?
Where does the ETH go?
So we're excited to give everybody that participated in the conference the first one ever. So the first one ever that we designed, that we put up on the blockchain, that is the presenter badge,
the speaker badge. Yeah,
the speaker badge. So I just want to, a nice little small thing from us to everybody that took part. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And if anybody doesn't have a .crypto address and is interested in it, it's a cool new way to tie your ETH address to a domain name that you want, like mine is hexotic.crypto. So instead of me putting up a nice long ETH address that nobody's ever going to remember, I can now have a sort of a URL that redirects to my MetaMask wallet. Those are up for purchase from anybody right now, for anybody, from Unstoppable Domains. So anyone that's listening, if you're interested in grabbing one for yourself, it's a lifetime purchase. They're all different prices. Mine was $80. So I get a lifetime purchase. I have that connected to my Joe Hexotic Live ETH address. So everything's out there on the blockchain. You'll see my first purchase, was the first Hex badge that I have.
And that's on the Zillow. That's on the Zill blockchain. Does that count for everything ERC20, or how's that work?
Yes, I believe so. I mean, I'm certainly not an expert in it, but it is on that blockchain.
If you're buying it through Rarible, it's an RC20 token. So a MetaMask or a Trust wallet, Coinbase wallet. Let me see what else. Basically, any major Ethereum wallet that holds collectibles the badge, you can buy that badge on there. Just like a regular
ERC like 722 or something.
Yeah, but it's if you see on most wallets, they have a collectible side on there, and it'll just go right in there.
No, yeah, it sounds like you guys thought of it, because my question was going to be, how do we stop people from scam pumping these on exchanges? But it's apparently if you made it cost a lot to send, so that's good.
No, it's 100% of the value goes back to the founders of the NFT art. So where you can set that to 10% or 100%, anything in between, we made it 100% back to us because we don't want it being sold.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool. That's a great coded way of giving really a badge of, hey, thank you for joining into this conference. Right. It's great that you're part of the, in the Navy, they call something, there's a phrase called plank owner, and it's the first crew of a ship that gets launched. So the first people that are part of that crew, when a ship might have 30 or 40 years of lifespan in it, but that's a plank owner. So it's kind of like a plank owner badge when you're saying about the FOMO or the first year or whatever, or being part of the launch phase. That's pretty cool.
We did limit the first one, the day one FOMO, because we want to, have the idea, like Maddie said when him and I were discussing, that everybody FOMO'd in on that day. So we're going to release just a limited amount of those ones, 369. When they are gone, they're gone. So the rest of them do have 10,000 each.
Badge, otherwise they're going to be gone. It's really funny to me.
Can I get a day one FOMO into the FOMO badge?
Yeah.
Did you choose 369? Because I think it was like 20,000 ETH. How many people were in day one? What was the number of addresses?
No idea. There was no way to tell how many were unique. So
Pretty cool.
I was a couple of those ETH, I assure you.
Yeah.
So was I. And then I was like, oh fuck. I need to hold back a little bit. Screwed up.
So Johnny, if you can stop buying them now and join us back in the stream, that'd be awesome. Don't spend all your ETH on these things right now. You know.
There's going to be some trader that's going to wreck himself doing this, trying to buy them all up and sell them. I can't wait.
I know, right? That's what I said. It's like the first thought that I had. Some degenerate.
Hey, do you still have your shrimp? Does Crypto Coffee still have his Hex shrimp?
Well, actually, that's what I was hoping to resell one of these badges for to make up the loss.
I think he was going to trade shrimp for this badge.
Yeah, so if we could give a few away, that'd be cool. You know, if anybody is in the chat and you know, qualifies for one of those badges and you want to write into the chat, I have no idea how we could perform a contest, but we just want to pick 3, RG.
Well, yeah, if everybody on screen wants to pick somebody from the chat, that'd be fun.
All right.
Cool.
All right, yeah, for sure. What should we have them say in chat? Make it fun. Okay, Hex Boy Scouts. Time to get your Boy Scout badges, you guys. All right. Cool. Let's. How should we split it up? You said you only want to do 3, or do you want to do a little?
No, we could do 1 each. Gas prices are going down, so hopefully by the time we have winners, it'll be $10, not 20. We could pull off 6, right, Maddie?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. So let's have 3. So we're gonna randomly choose 3 people from the YouTube chat first, and then we'll switch over to the Dlive. So put Hex Boy Scouts. Let's go.
Oh, man. Hex Boy Scout.
Yeah.
You have to name a Boy Scout rank.
Okay.
Say that.
Oh, look, RG3 got it.
First one, RG3.
All right, Maddie, you wanna select one?
Sure. Hex Monkey is the first one I saw.
Woo!
Right.
Hex Monkey.
There you go.
So just you can create a brand new address if you don't want to, like, you know, tie it to what you've already done. And so you could just, in MetaMask, you can just hit add account, and then you can send the account to me on Telegram. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Joe Exotic, you want to pick one from the chat?
Sure.
From the YouTube chat?
Absolutely. First one I saw is Nate J.
Nate J.
Hex Boy Scouts.
Winner, chicken dinner.
All right.
All right. Would you like to choose another one, Maddie, from the YouTube chat?
Let's let somebody else, one of the other Cutthroats pick.
All right. Who wants to choose? Papa Boner, you want to do?
I can't see the chat, but I'm going to try this. It's lights out in the chat.
I got the Dlive chat.
I don't think he's in the chat.
It's the YouTube one. So, okay, Captain, you want to choose the last one on YouTube?
I don't choose no more.
All right, fine. I will close my eyes.
Not since the incident.
Not after the pick incident.
A bit of Hex. Congratulations, Carter.
After the incident of the wheel of death.
Is that Abbott?
Alan Bittner.
All right.
Winner, chicken dinner. So
Awesome.
DM Maddie, and then you guys will obviously don't put your ETH addresses in the chat, obviously. So okay, so all right, now Dlive chat, put in Hex Boy Scouts and let her rip. Let's go.
So
Okay.
so Gary and I were both in the Boy Scouts, I think, because his slideshow had that. That's cool.
Yeah. I didn't make it to Eagle Scout. I made it to Life. I just made it to Life. And I liked playing this game called Slaughter Ball. It was kind of like dodgeball. So I went to Boy Scouts just to play fucking games at the end of the meeting. But
like
that's why I never made it to Eagle Scout.
Smear the queer. Is that-
Exactly.
Oh,
But yeah, same thing.
all right, and the winner is. Let's see. Let me go down.
Matt, are you taking notes here as far as the
Copper
winner?
Pool.
Should I?
Copper Pool.
Yeah.
Congratulations, sir. You have won. Make sure to hit up Maddie on Twitter or I guess Telegram, and then he'll get you sorted out.
DC, who'd you pick?
It's on the screen right now.
Topher.
Yeah, I'm gonna put them on the screen right here just so you can see them.
Cool.
All right. I'm choosing. Let me know when to stop. Anytime now, you guys.
Stop.
Jesus. All right.
Keep going.
Brian Magruder.
Magruder.
Congratulations.
Brian.
Bam. Let me put that in chat real quick. There you go. Brian Magruder. One more to go, you guys. All right. I'm going to scroll up and close my eyes. It's like prom night. Come on. All right. 3, a 2, a 1.
Boom.
Bella. Wait, what is this?
Bellatran.
Bellatran or whatever. I can't. Yeah. However.
4N. It's Beltran.
Oh,
Beltran.
nice.
Congratulations, Beltran. You have won a once in a life prepaid.
You pulled them all from YouTube?
No, 3 from YouTube, 3 from Dlive.
I just copied their name exactly and put them in the chats so I can link them.
I'd like to give an honorable mention award of nothing to Ross Hex, who actually trolled this drawing, and he said DCC is a Girl Scout, which was a nice one. It was a nice one.
Thank you, good sir. I try hard,
He gets a shout out. That's his trophy.
Well, cool. Thank you for everybody for participating. That was really cool, and look forward to seeing what comes of it.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on, guys.
No problem at all.
Before you go, Maddie, I just I wanted to talk with you maybe about that topic. No one else has really brought up the Boy Scouts. It was meaningful to me, just as a short segue. I was raised by a single mom mostly, and so maybe it was just to keep me busy and maybe better association and things like that. I got a lot from joining the Boy Scouts. I got a lot from just being accountable on a Thursday night or whatever the night was that our meetings were supposed to be or something. Yeah, I got a lot about that. So if you want to do some kind of stream or something, I'll talk about that specifically. I think that's pretty useful for you.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I would love that.
He wants to show you where they touched him. Is what. He wants to sit on your couch and tell you where they touched.
The Scouts have gotten a bad name lately, but I think back when he and I were in scouting, it was very respectable and
it was a lot of the Baden Powell stuff. It was a lot of the origin story. Where I was from in the South, it was it was a church that sponsored it. Yes, it was a Methodist church. So I liked it. I wasn't religious. I still am not that religious, but I think that it gave me accountability, and I had to remember, all of the things that you have to remember to earn a badge or whatever. So it started giving me confidence as a young person. Yeah, we'll talk about it another time.
Cool.
All right, guys, we're gonna go back to trolling in the chat. Thank you. Thank you,
all right, guys.
Thanks guys.
Appreciate
you. Good to see you.
Take care.
Thanks.
Yeah.
DC's gone. So what's up, Coffee?
Not much, man. Trying to get this.
Everybody's got this awesome background upgrade. Look at this shit. I mean,
yeah, look at you.
Penthouse now.
You just kept the background. It's like, free background.
It's awesome. He's gonna change it now. he's like, screw that. I'm changing it.
Can you not hear us? I don't think you can hear us. Can you not hear us?
I can hear you.
Oh.
What? Are you talking to me?
Excuse me?
Sorry. What the fuck did you just say? No, I was messaging someone on the Hex Dev channel. I'm trying to get the website updated, so doing 2 things at once.
Oh.
Coffee, you're coming in all ginger. Did you change your white balance or something? Or
I just started using a new conditioner, Just
right.
This stream is brought to you by Head and Shoulders. Head and Shoulders.
Yeah.
We were calling him Twilight there for some time. I think he's tanned up quite a bit. We were calling him Twilight for some time.
I can be as tan as you want me to
Twilight,
be.
Yeah.
As tan or as pale as you want me to be.
Oh, nice. Look at that.
It's like
it's very ghastly there. It's a ghastly color. Yeah.
I'm roasting in the glow of my computer. Getting hotter and hotter. But yeah, man. Yeah. So guys, the website is about to be updated. It's gonna be fucking awesome.
Oh my!
No expectations, but we're working on it.
The primary one, the hex.com one. Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah. We finally got a guy. I'm not going to say his name, but I'll show his donation address once it's all done. We could all donate to him. I want it to be like an actual community kind of thing, right? So it makes it even more important that way, I guess.
For sure, man. Damn, I can't wait.
When people say a website is great, maybe a round robin, what do you think of as a great website? Is it the imagery or gloss, or what makes a great website to you?
To me, I mean, that's such a hard question. It depends what it's for. It depends, what the purpose is. But like for hex.com, I don't know. I just think the most important part is that it's done by the community, right? So that's going to be cool. But yeah, no expectations, guys. Don't want to talk about it too much, and I'll stop multitasking. So, but the liquidity, huh? Holy shit!
But the liquidity. But the liquidity.
Hex rug pull. Just kidding.
That's what everybody's thinking, but they don't realize the upward momentum that.
No, it's the greatest thing ever. It's amazing. I mean, you change the primary pair to USDC, so it's like, I mean, that during a bear market or during a correction, that's what you want, right? Because if it's pegged to the ETH price going up, that's great. If it's pegged to ETH price going down, it's exactly what you don't want. So, I think everyone kind of understands that. I don't think there's not a whole lot of FUD going on about it, at least not that I see. But yeah. Did you guys already talk about that before?
He was saying that he was getting some people asking about that or something.
There were some phone calls with some concern, but there is none really. I mean, like you said, it's kind of one of them genius moves again.
Yeah.
And the only people that it's hurting is short-term people that are trying to sell right now, or that want to sell right now. That's it. So,
and they have the option to get out at a lesser price and hand it over to us and give us an excellent price, and we are perfectly okay with that.
It's like, go ahead.
You want to give it away for 1/10 of a penny? Come on, sell your million. We'll take it. We'll take it.
Well, I mean, someone who was it that made the comment? It might have been dollar cost. Maybe it was somebody else inside of. I can't remember who it was in the chat or something. When you say, if a whale wants to get in, they're going to see 14% slippage, right? They're going to see 14% slippage because they threw in $1 million, and my gosh, they're going to lose 14% because they're going to have slippage. That's price movement up. I mean, slippage means the price goes up. And if someone buys in as a quote unquote whale, which you hope to have, do you want them to whale up and then have whale down movement? No, you want them to buy in because they're buying in. They're buying in the same reason that they're buying a house that they're going to live in for a couple of years, or that they're going to buy in because they're buying a jet or some other shit that whale and rich people buy. You don't see people typically that are whale status doing that kind of stuff because it's delayed gratification principles. The person that has to have the quick fix, the lottery drive, they do these kinds of things. They just get in, and when a couple of hours later, they're back out again, right? They're trying to be cash out instantly. And they might be concerned about slippage, maybe, because they want to get it as cheap as they possibly can to dump it on everybody else later, right? Days later, 2 days later, whatever. So price movement, slippage, profit. I mean, you have instant profit if you buy in, even if you quote unquote have 14% slippage, even if you have that, because you moved the price up and now you're in, and that motion or that economic momentum can carry past you. Does it mean you have to dump the next day, 3 weeks, 10 days, months, years? Your price goes up. Do you think that Elon Musk made more money because he sold more time? No, he created value and he held. He creates value and he holds his equity. It's the same thing with anybody else. They hold their equity.
Did you just say Elon Musk?
Yeah. The richest man right now? That guy?
Ellen. He said Ellen.
Well, Elon, however you want to nuance it. That dude that's rich.
The richest African man.
Richest man in the world right now. He passed Bezos.
Rocket dude.
Minus the Saudi oil princes and all that, but
yeah. I mean, you can be a dictator. You can be in charge of a country. Really, truthfully, the wealthiest person in the world is like the king of Thailand or some shit, because he effectively owns the whole country. So yeah, he can be that guy. Or maybe how rich is that guy in North Korea? I mean, you know, it doesn't seem like they export a lot of stuff, but I guess you can call him rich. And he's an emperor or something.
Right.
100x perpetual income. I'm good with that. I don't need to own an island.
I'll visit islands, but I don't really need to own like the whole island and have a mine thing around it or whatever. It's weird.
So coffee, man. What's been going on in your neck of the woods, man?
Dude, I'm honestly like super busy again. I'm working, I think 10, 11 hour days at work, got a new client, but still trying to do some stuff for Hex. I mean, you know, I'm trying to put out a video every, you know, at least once a week or so, and trying to get stuff done that I've always wanted to get done. So like as a personal thing, the website, I know we've got a whole bunch of awesome guys in Hex design and a whole bunch of great designs just sitting there that kind of never got acted upon. And so I'm kind of just starting to like stir it back up again and just get the motivation going in there, because I don't want to let all this stuff go to waste. And I just think that's kind of a low hanging fruit that in the bull market, I think when you are onboarding new people and no coiners that make their decision based off shit that doesn't really matter, like fonts and spacing, you're going to want a nice, like 2021 looking website. No offense. I mean, the content, the copy, it's incredible. Right. But I mean, a lot of people just, they don't like reading. They don't like trying that hard. Right. So we got to make it easier for them to get into something good. Otherwise they're going to get tricked by something that looks really good that sucks a lot of ass. So, you know, I'm just trying to prepare for that. And what else am I working on? Ad campaigns is going pretty well. I'm trying to get Twitter up and running. Google's been going for a long time. Just Google and Facebook and Instagram, because Instagram owns Facebook, but not for long. So Twitter, and then I'm going to try out TikTok. I'm going to be one of those TikTok guys. So I'm feeling pretty weird about that. Yeah, feeling pretty weird.
Dude, they've been getting, the guy gets like 500,000 views. I mean, he's
Super Hex is on top of it.
Yeah, Super Hex is doing great.
Yeah.
Hey, Coffee, can I take a gander at the text from the website if you have it like just in a Word file? I'd like to see about giving a spin on the Japanese version.
Please, absolutely. Right now, it's only the tech specs page that we're trying to merge in as kind of a intro, or just to see how it looks, see how the crowd reacts, because we also want to make it community feedback driven as well. So we'll have it open not to maybe everybody, but if you're in the design channel, or if you actually reach out or whatever, then your feedback is welcome. But if we just post it out in on Twitter, everyone and their mother is going to be giving their input, and we actually need some kind of hierarchy. I mean, it's hard to have a decentralized thing, right? Because most of the time there's a company and you report up to somebody, and so this is different, but I think it's really cool.
And you can never make everybody happy, and the more variables you add to that, the more you end up with somebody that's just a little louder than the next, and then that's not necessarily your best decision, right?
Well, you can't have masses of people, there's 300 million people in the United States. I don't know how many, 20,000 people inside of Hex or whatever. But if they all make a contribution, then you get a mediocre product, because you're right in the middle. You're on consensus of average. So you actually do need meritocracy, and you do need hierarchy for most of that stuff to actually have a better product, a competitive product.
I mean, I think meritocracy is what we're looking for. I mean, we do really want to try to be decentralized, right? That's the advantage that Hex has over anything else, is it's actually a community. And not a lot of people get that. I mean, people are so stuck in, it's got to be a company. There's, it's all CeFi out there. And that's great. If that's what you want to do, like, at least admit that you're doing that. Don't pretend to be DeFi. But Hex is different. So I want to get people's input. So for sure, Papa Boner, I'll show you. Or you can get in the Hex design channel.
I don't like how you say that.
Show me.
I came here to see Maddie's. I came here to see Maddie's.
I'll put you in if you like, Papa Boner.
Oh yeah, thank you. Can I fit?
Fuck me.
Hold on.
Nice.
So I have a question, a general question. Most of us in here have been around since 2017. When the blow off top thing happened. Maybe you have longer experience, more cycles underneath your belt. When you were looking before, I know that Dollar Cost talks to a lot of different products and knows a lot of different leaders and different things. how much of your decision, let's just strike Hex completely from the conversation. Not Hex. Everything that was not Hex, because Hex wasn't there in 2017. When you made a decision to throw an ETH at something, did you look at the LinkedIn? Did that compel you? The person this is the CEO of the company that's going to launch the promise, and this person used to work somewhere else. Because I remember influencers, quote unquote influencers, they always say, do your own research, and they would almost always go right away to a LinkedIn and say, this guy used to be with AT&T. That's got to mean something. Do you see that happening now in 2021? Because it's in a blow off kind of thing in my mind. Like right now it's people before retail, but they're going to dump on retail sooner or later.
Right.
How it works, Gary, is the do your own research doesn't count. People make a connection with the influencers, and then they hear repetition. Okay, so they'll see their next influencer, and they're like, well, this influencer mentioned it, and this influencer mentioned it. It must be okay. So that whole Walmart greeter into the crypto space thing is what screws people, because people don't do the research. And I mean, I've been just as big a victim of this as anybody, because I was, trusting that these people that were the experts of the space, so to speak, or representatives of the space knew what the hell they were talking about. But in all actuality, it's like, there really are no experts, because the field is so new. The sphere of it is so big. They just know a little bit more than the average person, which makes them appear to be experts. We realize that now, but experts. Yeah. We realize that now, but then, in the 2017, that was it, right? These guys were all right. They seemed to know stuff, right? And that's what the new people are going to see when they come in. And that's why, like, some of the clones and stuff have been paying these guys off to talk about it, and everybody's raging about that right now. But, I think that's actually a positive thing, because they're going to get into this stuff and they're going to get wrecked. And then they're going to look for that thing that they told them to stay away from, because now they realize that those people, they'll come to that conclusion. Inevitably, they'll come to that conclusion. It might take a little pain, but they'll come to the conclusion that these guys don't know anything. I mean, we learned it.
Well, what I remember is, like you said, repetition. Yes. One influencer commenting it on Monday, and then by Wednesday, 4 others have made their videos too. Right. And they had pretty graphs and pretty content that they didn't generate. I mean, like Chico Crypto, he doesn't create his own content. Almost everything is fed to him. And he makes, 50, 60 grand a month because things are fed to him. So I'm not saying that he does bad things, but I'm saying he's just a funnel. He's just a funnel to the mass, or whatever, to the people that pay attention. And so right now, Richard had alluded, because of the movement off of exchanges of what gets bought, and then it's going off of exchanges into like longer hold kind of wallets or whatever it seems to be, that it doesn't appear to be the retail FOMO like it's 17. That was all pretty much retail back and forth, ping ponging. And on this cycle, I really don't know what to make of it. And I really don't care, because I am in Hex, but I do have friends, like so many people that we've already talked to, Hex. And now they're all asking me about, what's this Bitcoin, Ethereum thing that I keep hearing everything about? So I want to refunnel them, but I don't know how to give that narrative.
It's institutional money. Okay. Institutions are not giving a shit about the tech. Right. Institutions are looking for, where do they take profit? It's really the same scenario that it's always been with coins that you don't hold, that don't pay you for being held. Eventually, inevitably, they have to sell. Wherever that price pumps to, they can put it wherever they want, because they've got the amount of money to do it. But eventually, at some point, there's got to be a crash, because they have to take profit and drive that price back down, so that they can get in at a lower price and take that profit off the top and maintain their position. So, I like to say this about Bitcoin nowadays. Bitcoin is a utility token used for leverage trading. That's what it's been reduced to today. It might have started out as this idealistic type thing, but it has been, the financial institutions have reduced it to this coin in order to utilize leverage trading to make profit.
Yeah.
Howdy, Mr. Great.
Hey, I heard Gary's awesome question, so I wanted to hop in and share my wisdom too. So what's up, everybody?
Good to see you, Kareem.
Good to see you too, Gary. Didn't mean to cut you. Go ahead. I'll talk after.
Well, my last thing is, I don't know if you ever pay attention. There's this really good content producer. I like him a lot. He's fairly new. His name is Jake Tran. He does like a banking walkthrough. If you just look up Jake Tran, he basically slices up a lot of movies and such like that, but he has a really good narrative. And he ended up talking today about, like he's talked about the mafia, how that works, how the banking industry, how that works, how you basically are taking $100 and multiplying it into 1,000. I mean, just the system that we think of as money, but it's just basically ledger entries. Yeah, it's really good content. So
is it Jake from China or just Jake Chan?
Jake, if you look up Jake, Jake, and his last name Tran, Tran.
Yep.
And he's on YouTube. He's got good content. It's working.
There's a couple of them. Yeah, Jake Tran, Mafia.
Yeah, you'll find him.
Perfect. Yep, that's good. If I may, just a few things here, because what Gary said is so important, because a lot of people didn't really understand how crazy 2017 was. And what I realized, and I'm going to use EOS as a perfect example, because I was there from the get-go, and clearly we know what happened since yesterday, and this is just making me more bullish about Hex. But even if you were to do your research, like, for example, like I researched who Dan Larimer was. Back in the day, he was putting a lot of content, video, and quite frankly, he taught a lot of us about blockchain, inter-blockchain communication. What's the meaning of having faster block? Why does it matter? So everything made sense, and then track record, done bit shares, knows about blockchain, because let's be real, there's not a lot of developer that can really code blockchain correctly. So it made things easier, which is why the community galvanized each other. But then at the end of the day, right, validity. Are you going to come through? Right? With the investors, we made the right move. You said you're going to do something, but ultimately you did not do it. After countless of time, live, online, say, oh, I'm not leaving. I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z. And then you bounce. So there's, no matter what, there's going to be limitation to how much research you can do. Ultimately, it's about character. Ultimately, it's what the person is going to be able to deliver. And that's something you have to be able to track. Even all the other components, we remember how they were like, it's like scammers, man. They're always going to gamify the system. You give them a metric, they're going to gamify it. One of the metric back then was, okay, how many GitHub repo, how much the team worked, right? The moment that word gets around, oh, you track that, boom, the scammers started to do the same thing. Fake commits. I mean, I remember days where they were literally just getting to GitHub, changing like commas, right? Like, but because the little retail guy, he heard, oh, check the commits. And then they go, oh, wow, they did so many commits, but it's like nothing changed. So it's like whatever the metric is, they're going to end up gamifying it. And you realize that unless you have a real community, kind of like us, people going live, showing their face, really, making stuff happen. Because back then also, the more private you are, the more cool you look. When it's like, no, you're going to get scammed because they're just going to disappear overnight and then change their name. So it's just
so the problem, Kareem, is the people going in 2017 did not know what metrics to use to gauge whether or not something was legit or not. And because up until that point, everybody was using these metrics, which, like you said, gamify the system. They were invalid metrics. They weren't any indicator of anything because none of it went through, right? And Larimer is just a serial abandonor. We happen to get abandonor, and we've got a serial entrepreneur that likes to win. Yeah. So we've got a different founder altogether. And I remember when Blockstream did the release. Okay, and here's our convention for Blockstream, and we're done.
You want to know what they did with the money?
I'll be right back.
I can literally tell you what they did with the money. That $4 billion, what it got used.
It became money. It became cash, and
I said it the other day too. Slap in the face. They were invested in Ethereum and then they bought Bitcoin. Like the thing you said you're going to kill, so to speak, and that's the biggest slap in the face you can do to people. Like it's very disrespectful. And then now you see how he's starting to distance himself, and then come up with this, always great reason. You see, it's like there's always a great reason. Oh, I tried to do this, but this is what happened, and and freedom and this and that. But bro, we spend billions. Like I get it, but at the end of the day, you didn't do what you said you're going to do. And to me, that's the most important thing. You can do it and say, guys, I failed. My apologies. I tried the best I could. But don't do the scapegoat. Don't do like, no, I'm great. It's not me. It's them, right? It's kind of like saying like, "Hey, honey, I want to, exit," but it's like, no, it's not you, it's me. No, it's like, dude, that's an excuse. At the end of the day, that's a freaking excuse.
Right.
1 to 2 years, he'll do it again. 1 to 2 years, he'll do it again. If you look at the crypto space in general, everything for 2017, the recycling of narratives is happening. Okay, so we've got them promoting their top 10 coins, their top 5 coins, and they're telling the same stories and promises that were 4 years ago. And like when RG first started Discourse Syndicate up, I was telling people, look, these narratives, they're coming back out again. They're coming back out again. I mean, way in early films. And then now we've got the top 10 coins. And then you see up there XRP, VeChain, whatever, you see all these things.
ETH killers now is a big one, and there's all these there's new names, new brands for the same old shit. So
are they doing killers again?
Oh, they're doing it all over the place. Yeah, come on.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that promotes it is, gas is high. Of course, we need this ETH killer again. We're going to see it. People have been working on the Cardano, but that might not ever come around. Who knows if it does? But there will be another one. I mean, it'll just be pop up, and it'll be. This isn't really an ICO. We just are going to work on it, and you just pay us in advance, and then we'll deliver later, and then you'll have really cheap app fees. But remember, it's not an ICO. It's not a, it's not. We just don't want to call it that. But just give us your money.
I love the 5 happy, right? There's some. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm just saying, there's some like actual good stuff going on. Like you got Uniswap. Like the Uniswap's not total shit. Like I love Uniswap.
But Uniswap launched without you funding it. You instantly had Uniswap. You didn't fund it to make it.
There was a little bit of VC, I think, in that. I don't know too much about it. Oh no, I did not.
Yeah, I did not. So everybody that pitches and says, "Give me $15 million and let me see what I can do with it."
Yeah.
What is that story?
That's been the thing. They're serial abandonors. They go from one project to the next project, and they don't have to finish it until Uniswap, until Hex. There hasn't been anything that was complete, that was fully functional. So we've changed the spectrum here. So they want to sweep Hex under the rug. All right. They were really good with this abandonor racket. Okay. They don't want to actually have to finish things. So they don't want you to see this. They've been praying and they've been whining and they've been trying to do everything they can to make this disappear, because we've got something that actually works now, not later.
And actually, to touch on that, the reason why it's even more crazy is because, number one, most of those people, they know each other, right? So it's almost like they're on cahoot with the scam. That's the reason why they're so big against Hex, because like, oh, that's going to mess up our business model. You see what I'm saying? Number two, they're banging on the fact that most people, right, short-term memory, after a couple of years, they forget about what happened. Some of them
got new people. They got new people to fuck down.
Yeah, some people leave the space, and then when the new dumb money, so to speak, comes in, you know what I mean? It's going to happen again. I mean, fun fact enough, institution money or not, technically to me, honestly, because they were not here in 2017, they're the new dumb money, right? At the very least, institution, they're going to be like, listen, we're playing with other people's money. It's not our money. We don't want to get fired. So we're just going to form a Bitcoin because, number one, we get paid on fee. So if asset under management 10x and I'm getting 0.5% or 1% a year, I can care less what the Bitcoin price is. I just need to formal this thing in. And because they have a lot of money, they can pump anything they want at the end of the day. They can make a mistake and still pump it because there's so much billions.
So today's thing about Jake Tran, again, look it up. It was talking about Silicon Valley, and he was talking about Silicon Valley Ponzi scheme. Yep. And Silicon Valley really is a Ponzi scheme in a lot of ways. One of the reasons is what you just said is because if you can pump up the valuation on the Series A and then go into a Series B, you're going to make as a fee, say it's a $100 million company. For the course of that first year, you'll make $17 million as a VC, and you don't have to execute product. You simply have to incentivize these people that are working 24 hours as quote unquote founders to come up with some innovation. And say, okay, let me just dump some money on it, and they will make the fee. They will make the management assets under management fee. What's the name of the Indian guy? You just say
I was just about to say he literally
he's the only one talking about that right now.
Is truth. And it is almost dangerous truth. The dangerous truth is he's a little bit too close to honest with the general public. I don't know if anybody's
that video. Thank God.
I don't know if anybody's paid attention, but Jack Ma hasn't been seen in about 2 months.
Yeah,
Jack Ma is is the leader of Alibaba in China, and he basically said the same sort of thing in October, and nobody has seen him in 2 months.
My friend,
he issued a statement
playing low because of what's going on. He doesn't want to create any more situation. Because this is the craziest part, politics over there. Like the government, if they really want to mess up with you, again, it's about power. At the end of the day, they're gonna come up with random excuse. Dude, they blocked the IPO like 24 hours before he went through, and some random stuff. Oh, you're not in regularity or some shit. I mean, what? Wait, hold on. We've been doing this process for years, and then all of a sudden, the day before, we're missing paperwork. Like, how? Like, it just doesn't even make any sense.
So the things that we need are actually crypto, specifically Hex. Hex is living up to the standard of cypherpunks from 12 years ago. It is living up to that standard. That standard is, here's the intention. The mechanism maybe of early on has been Bitcoin, or maybe some second version was Ethereum as far as a concept or whatever. But the principle, the intention, Hex is the only thing that I've seen that's delivered in a way that you can say, here's a contract. I'm going to put in a certain amount of this code we're going to call Hex. I'm going to get these shares. It's going to be staked for a certain amount of time. And, what happens to me or happens to my politics or what happens to whatever doesn't cancel culture me. It doesn't cut me out of economy, right? So it's an interesting time over the next 1 to 5 years that we're going to be, as a world, transitioning either to a digital economy of equality, equal opportunity. I wouldn't say equality. I would say equal opportunity.
That's the key.
Because you can have opportunity to innovate. It doesn't mean that you have to have equal equity with everyone else. Okay, so I see a lot of changes. You saw that Parler got shut down. The only real platform of any merit that people could go to, and it's basically by the top 3 major companies. Amazon shut them down. Google, Facebook. Anybody that basically has any association with 75 million people that made a vote on one side of the political spectrum is being basically muzzled and cut out of the conversation altogether. So I don't want to make it into politics. I know we stay away from politics. I'm talking about money. And the only thing that really solves anything really is the concept of money and what do the people call money? What is money? So.
Absolutely. And to me, one of the most powerful thing Hex does is that it keeps everybody honest, meaning, let's be real. We know why we're in crypto, and we know really why crypto became popular. Like we've just been saying from day one, it's about the mad gains. Let's not kid ourselves. Now, once you make the mad gains, if you want to go ahead and do philanthropic things or help out a business grow and things like that, that's fine. But we know what the #1 reason those people are funneling those millions and billions of dollars is about the mad gains. So creating something that's basically, to me, almost like a public good, because it literally reward, like Gary said, based on how much capital you bring to the table. And the sooner you get in and you're protected by the T-share, your long-term value will remain. And the longer you're willing to commit, the more you get. I mean, this is the most fairest you can get. And all the fundamentals that make crypto the highest, asset class in the world are in there. From that point on, it's over. You want the mad gain. I don't care if you're here today, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, it would still continue to outpace anything else out there. So you can get your money, because that's literally what your life depends on. Literally, the difference between people in poverty and people in some level of prosperity to have literally a better, enjoyable life. It's that ability to, preserve your capital and all the hard work that you've been doing. And then after that, if you go see someone say, hey, I want to work over here or help this or that, you can do that without having to sacrifice your nest egg. To me, that's the most important thing. So we can solve that conversation, and then you can just go and do bigger, better things and, provide a service, do a business, philanthropy, yada, yada, whatever that is. But we're not sitting here and be like, oh, people lost all their life savings because of some scam or some empty promises.
Yeah, I want to trust math and code more than I want to trust government and even intention of another person, honestly.
It's unfortunate that it takes a certain level of pain before you can see Hex for what it really is. Unfortunately, a lot of these people are going to get geared through the meat grinder when they listen to the other influencers. And it's just a matter, like RG, he likes to hold them accountable, and you should. That's what you should do. You should, if these people are going to scream, then they should be held accountable. Keep a record. what they've done and you know, the harm that they've done to people. I mean, I don't understand. Yeah, I mean, they have to be damn near sociopathic to not give a shit who they hurt with the stuff that they promote, because it's not like these guys are really actually ignorant. They may not be experts because they don't realize that the game has changed, but they know that what they're doing is harmful, right?
Absolutely, Johnny.
So the problem is that we're the only organic community out there. You know, everything else, every single one of those guys are paid for. They're all funded. They're all paid for. So that is influence on what they say, how they say it, when they say it, and who they say it about. You know, because that was my complaint today was, why are they giving legitimacy to anything else other than Hex? If it's why would you not even say a word about Hex, but talk about a copycat like it's news? Like it's news. It was like the information they were putting out was like it was news, when they completely ignore Hex, but they'll talk about a copycat as like it's news. And it's like, it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Hey,
it's crazy, man. People talk about community too. People act like community matters, but I've been a part of like quote unquote communities back in 2017. I would go in different, you guys remember when Slack channels was still a thing? You could go in a public Slack channel. So I was in there and I thought that's what a community was, because I didn't realize what a real community was. I'm glad I stumbled on this, because I would have never known otherwise, right? But you had a few dudes that would just talk, you know, faceless. Their picture would be a little fucking frog or whatever. And, you know, they would pump it up for like a year or two, but they were only pumping it as much as they were getting paid to. And after they stopped getting paid, they would hop to the next thing. So I remember I saw this guy, I think his name was, I hope he's not listening, Benny Big Potatoes or something like that. Benny Baked Potatoes or some shit. And I remember seeing him like pop up in this one community. And then, you know, a couple months later, I was in a different community and I saw him as the admin there. And I'm like, holy shit, how many communities is he the admin for? How can you even split your time?
They're working.
Baked potatoes.
Yeah. It's real easy to get people's money in this space. It's real easy to get money from people.
But as soon as it stops coming, though, they have no allegiance. They have no
they move
commitment.
Exactly, and I think that's the
baked potatoes for a hot potato.
That's right.
Because we're all committed. We're all committed for at least 5.5 years. You know, in here, the staker class is committed for 5.5 years. I mean, that's half of crypto's lifespan already. The Hexagons have, on average, committed to more years than half of all.
Crypto's been existed, actually.
We run around.
That's what I'm saying.
For longer than crypto's ever existed. That's pretty cool.
And most of the staker class, everybody has a 15-year stake. So now we're talking about they've committed to 15 years, which is a lifetime and a half of crypto to be committed to this, to be committed to the community, to be committed to your bags. You know, I mean, it's
and again, RG, I think that's another very powerful thing, is because the incentive are actually aligned. You know what I mean? It's not even like, oh my God, it's a big deal, I'm such a nice guy. No, it's like it actually incentivizes me in the right behavior. It's kind of like making me be more healthy, right? Because those things are really what matters, which brings everybody together. And then also based on what Coffee said, which is so important, those people, because they don't participate in the communities that much, they don't do a lot of live stream. For them, the follower is just a number on the screen. So they can dissociate themselves, separate themselves. So when they're getting those people wrecked, they don't care, because they never really got so close that they can see who the real people in the communities are. It's the same thing that people that get wrecked in margin trade. You think those people care or know who those people are? No, you're just a number on the screen. You got liquidated. They're just to help them sleep better. And they say, oh, you should have known better. You know the dangers of margin trading. I'm like, dude, you're shelling.
They laugh at you too. They laugh at you for losing money. Like, oh, that guy got wrecked. It's like, bro, that guy is out of the game. He lost his kid's college fund, you know, and we're laughing at him. And it's just kind of fucked up. It's a dirty game.
Absolutely. So,
and you know, this is the only community, because you know, never in 1,000 years would I say, you know, hey, I want to go meet some guys from the community of a coin that I bought. You know, I mean, never in 1,000 years would I thought of that, right? You know, but we've spent all this time talking to each other, you know, sharing thoughts, seeing that we're on the same page about some things and others, and you know, we've actually had several different meetups. You know, and that is way cool. And, you know, I would never think of, you know, reaching out to somebody from any other coin community to want to actually hang out with because they're just not that interesting, you know?
Absolutely.
And that's something that we had, and people actually take efforts. You know, I had Timothy Benjamin came out here to visit too. You know, he wanted to stop and visit, you know, different Hexicans and people from the community because he wants to celebrate, you know, what he's been able to achieve and the bonds that he's made. You know, I mean, it's bizarre because, you know, as it relates to crypto, you don't see that, right?
Exactly.
You just see faceless people on the screen, and they're just talking about, well, the price may go up, the price may go down, you know, and that's it, right? There's not really much to have a conversation about, but we talk about game theory, we talk about life, we talk about, you know, different stories from our background, and we click, right?
Amen. Amen.
It's like that level of intelligence you have to have. It's like you have to be at least this smart to get on this ride, right? So we kind of left, you know, the people on the outside, they want to scream scam, that's fine. They can stay the hell out there because we don't have time to talk to them anyway. So.
Absolutely. And this is the power of a finished product, you see, because all of this other stuff is unnecessary. All of this, like looking at people like $, calculated move, this and that, should I interact with this person to make him want to do X, Y, and Z? You don't need none of that stuff, right? The contract just works. It does what it said it's going to do every single day, so people can be themselves. That's the most important thing, without having to worry about, oh, you know, if I don't think like the rest of the pack is going to affect the community, that's going to affect the coin and this and that and the bags. And no, dude, the contract doesn't care. He's agnostic. You stake, here's your reward. You know the rules, get it done.
It's such a fun group, though, okay? If you think about what a real Hex convention is going to be like as a comparison to a Bitcoin convention, for some reason, I can literally picture a Bitcoin convention being, you know, a couple guys with tape around their glasses, standing by a water.
I've been there. It's exactly like that.
Hey, did you hear that one about Bitcoin? And the Hex convention is going to be like Circus Olay, you know. I mean, it's going to be freaking epic. It's just, you know, you can see explosions and you know, I mean, it's.
You know what the most fucking gross thing was? When I was at a Bitcoin conference one time, they thought they were so funny and clever, and everyone was just, you know, giggling and just jerking each other off about this. They had a. It was gross. They had a competition for like biggest scammer of the year. It was called like the Scammies or whatever. And they were giving out awards, and they were like voting on who's the biggest scammer of the year. And it was like, you know, not all illegitimate guys. I mean, yeah, Craig Wright was in there, but I mean, a couple other guys like Justin Sun. I mean, he might have a bad project, but come on, guys, like let's not have a big fucking show about slandering all these fucking, like, which one do you want to slander the most?
I don't know. Gross. Maybe they were celebrating who was the biggest scammer of them all, because as far as I'm concerned, that's pretty much what crypto's been up to this point.
Well, it's interesting that they all say things like, you know, this is digital money, this is peer-to-peer finance, this is all these other things that are money terms, and smart contract. Like I remember the narrative about smart contract is going to put lawyers out of business. There's no going to be any more lawyers because everything's going to be on a smart contract from here on. That narrative.
Lawyers are definitely in more business now. They got
more than they definitely get more business now. But the good, sad, hard thing to understand is this is almost like gaming culture. If you play the video game and you get to a certain level in that game and then you die, you can respawn, right? You can say, I'll start over. I guess that was wasted time. I'm going to come back and I'll know I should turn left instead of right next time, right? But when it comes to your finance, it comes to your savings, it comes to your livelihood, a lot of people don't have a do-over. A lot of people, like Richard has said, all the people that got wrecked in 17, they had to go back to their regular jobs, the regular lives. They had to hustle. They probably financed more than they should have in order to get in on the FOMO or whatever, 17. And they don't have money. So when you see bull markets, it's when new pockets of money get hit, or the people that were wrecked in the past come back, right? There's a lot of people that, the gaming culture mixed with finance and what does money mean? Dollar is so abundant. There's so many trillions and trillions of this ledger entry we call a dollar, right? But it's printed on whim, on demand, on politics, on natural disaster, on, you know, whatever faction gets into power for that moment to print the press, right? But that's not what crypto intention is supposed to be. Hex is the only thing that's delivered on that. Finished product, trading platform on a smart contract, as far as Uniswap, the first example of it, and participants that have equal opportunity. Do you have an opportunity to stake for 1 day? Absolutely. Do you have the opportunity to stay liquid? Absolutely. Do you have opportunity to wreck yourself like trading in and out of positions, right? Because there's a gas cost and there's a movement of the market cycle that happens. It just happens in everything that we call an asset. So you have opportunity that is an even playing field. Now, next year, 15 years from now, you have an equal opportunity. What do you got to do to put in? Well, you got to convert your time into a service, your time into creating a product, deliver better value to other people so that they compensate you with whatever you're willing to accept. You're willing to accept dollar, yen, euro, fine, get paid in that. Transform it, convert it into something that code and math can deliver to you in ROI. That's what Hex is doing, which is exactly the principle of supposedly Bitcoin back in the day. I think it's gone off the rails completely over the past couple of years because, in my opinion, it's not immutable. It can be changed. It just takes consensus from the miners. It can be changed. Code can be introduced to change its invulnerability or its security model, right? It has inflation bug histories. So I want something locked. When they say digital gold, that's bullshit if it can be fucking digital lead the next day. That's not the way it's supposed to be delivered. It should be a locked contract. It should be something that's verified in code and math, and people can't reference some oracle to decide its value. The price discovery mechanism is what people do. Human beings do. We discover the price. So
absolutely.
That's what I like.
I think to me, the most comical thing about Bitcoin, if we were to compare it to Hex 2, is what Richard called the fake staking, right? You hear all those people talking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna hold that coin for like 50 years or 100 years, this and that, and then when there's a big pullback, as we just see, they're the first one to dump. Again, no accountability. They dump on exchange. It's not like you're gonna go and trace them and find out who bought and who sell. You know what I mean? It's the most disgusting thing, and people, they don't understand that. They think it's just gonna stay there forever. No, like those people, there's no real commitment if you can put time and be visible, that can be seen, right? And I think that is the single most underrated thing that makes, to my belief, Hex more valuable in terms of store value, because we actually, for the most part, locking the value, which then creates the store. That's why the way we pump, and now with low liquidity, I mean, who knows how fly this thing can go. So and again, people, they don't understand that. Even in EOS back in the day, it was 3 days. You can unstake at any time, and then you have about 3 days before the thing comes out. But again, what's 3 days? That's nothing. That's the same thing like regular stock market, to not get a trading violation. You did a buy and a sell, and you got to wait 2 days, business days, for the proceed to kick in before you can do another sale. Like, it's just like, no. To me, it's just crazy.
Yeah. It's and again, there's been different models about what does locking mean. I mean, Steemit was a reference, EOS being a prepaid system. There's all kinds of things that are locking, quote unquote, the value. But Richard points out, you can get out. If you want to buy a house and you say, this is my dream house, this is exactly where I want to live forever. I'm going to die here. I'm going to raise my kids here. You can sell it next month. Like, you can take a loss, lose some equity, had a transfer cost, but you can get out. Right? Yeah. You say, hey, I've had this dream. I want to be a fucking astronaut. I think I'm going to go through all the engineering and all the physical requirements so that I can be on Mars one day. Well, you can quit that fucking journey. You can quit, right? You can go 3 months into it, 6 years into it, 10 years in it, never make it to Mars. You can quit anywhere along the way. This is code. This is code. There's no bell to ring, right? You're not going to get your quote unquote Hex back or whatever, the same amount, if you don't live up to the promise standard. The promise is supposed to be delivered. You're supposed to deliver on a promise, right? The reason we use that word promise is because a lot of people don't. They're like, I promise. It's like, no, what's that mean?
Well, it's not a promise. You're committing. You actually.
That's what I'm saying. Commitment. Yeah. The promise. We use the word promise, right? Because it's.
But like you said, a promise is something you can take back. It means nothing. A promise is just whatever. But a commitment, you're stuck in it. You stick yourself to it is what happened. And because it's in code, it is in stone. It is in code. You cannot take that commitment back, without just destruction. But hey, Richard just tweeted something that's kind of important, and everybody should read it. I'm gonna post the tweet, but everybody go check out. Mostly everybody follows Richard, but I guess there is a complete guide to rollups. Vitalik is getting ready to launch the rollups so that they can lower them damn ETH fees. So it's coming. It says it's coming. Yep, it says cheaper gas fees are coming, guys. And
that's actually the only fun that I hear.
An incomplete guide to rollups.
I thought he wasn't interested in reducing gas fees.
Well, that's everybody's. That's not him saying that, but that's just
it's everybody saying.
I can't make my $10 steak. It costs too much.
Does your gas guzzler car of the 70s, is it more valuable because it's a gas guzzler? Because it's kind of the same thing, right? So I had this thing. I was like, oh, gas has to be high and expensive so that the value of ETH will be valuable. I used to think that. It was a dumb narrative now, I think. So when it's cheap, not that I mean, we use ETH to go into and convert into Hex. We use that as a mechanism, I guess, because of and they're linked to each other. So what are your thoughts about the gas impact on the Hex price? Do you think it brings more people in because they were bitching about the $50 to get into Hex to do a transfer and a long lock, or that they were going to do a 1 week or 2 week or a small value kind of lock, and they're like, I wanted to bet $20 in Hex, and now it's going to cost me $20 in gas. I'm not going to do it now. Like, what do you think it does to the Hex price?
I mean, your onboarding fees into Coinbase to get into Bitcoin are just as bad, if not worse. So it's like, it makes no difference. But you're getting like the double whammy then you're getting whammied all over the place. It seems like crypto sucks when it comes to fees. I'm sorry, it just fucking sucks.
Well, it also sucks because you might not pay the same fee to Coinbase. You might, but you might not, because you're also giving the passport and the thumb up your ass, all of the KYC stuff that you're doing. So what's the most valuable thing right now in this society? Is it oil? No. Is it gold? No. It's your fucking data. It's your data, your information that can be sold in black markets or used in white markets, whatever you want to call them, because your data is the most valuable thing that there is. So I prefer to be out of that circle as much as I can. I know I'm still KYC'd in order to get ETH and all this other kind of transfer stuff that I am doing to go into Hex, but I just don't want to participate in it as much. So I do stay away from centralized exchanges as much as I possibly can.
Absolutely. We need a lot of these. We need a lot of these clone things to fail. We need a lot. Everything's like trying to use up the Ethereum network, and we need some of this stuff to fail and go away. And that would be very helpful. I can see where there's a problem, because say you want to buy $100 worth of Hex, and now it costs you $30 to buy your $100 worth of Hex. That could be a problem. It's certainly slowing adoption from that aspect for people that are smaller players. It would prevent them from saying, "Yeah, I'll throw a couple $100. Oh God, look, that's going to cost me, 30%." To get what I'm 30% over buying in right now. So that's problematic. And I think that probably, I can speculate and say that has a lot to do with the price not moving much, because us who are we're not really doing anything. We're just hanging out. But for new people that are interested in it, it's like, when you have a shopping cart on a website, right? And you go to check out, and then you see your shipping cost. You're like, oh my God, that's going to cost $50 to ship. Skip that. I'm done. And people will check out of your shopping cart.
Yeah.
So that happens so often. And if you have the right type of website, you can actually see that your shipping costs are actually affecting that. Unfortunately, there's not something that does that for Hex automatically to let us know how many people started to purchase their Hex and then backed out due to those gas fees. But I can guarantee when you tack on those extra fees on there, that is slowing our adoption.
So I'll agree with that. And I'll agree with that because we live in an Amazon society. Free shipping for $100 or whatever it is, free shipping sells a lot of product. Okay. But does that mean that person that's selling that product is making less money? No, it doesn't. They're making more money.
Exactly. That's why I need to jump in. Okay. Rule number 1 in sales. Okay. Nothing is free. Drill that into your brain. Okay, it's built into the price. Okay, I do a lot of.
Well, no, you pay $100 a year for it.
Oh, that too. Every time you hear
the product moves.
Yeah, it's just hidden. It's a great marketing strategy. It's either built already into the cost, or like, Facebook, like that Gary said, you the data, so you the product, so to speak. But I think
the kicker is when you separate it like that, when it's a purchase and then it's a gas fee. The psychology of the person is that's a separate fee. If there was a way to combine it and hide it like what you're talking about, that would be more effective. But unfortunately, with a decentralized exchange like that, there's no way to separate the gas fee out into the price unless it's
I agree with you. Also, there will be a split in the type of hexagon. The new hexagon, if Staker app lives up to what it's probably going to do, you'll have hex in, and you will get hex, and you didn't even know that your gas was paid with hex. Right?
That's the important feature right there.
Yeah. So you might split up price of ETH, and this is my price to transport my hex to my control. But there's going to be a bifurcation. There will be people that just say, "Oh, I don't even know what ETH is. What is that? I don't even know."
Yeah. But I think ultimately, guys, what I was trying to get at is what really matters the most is the way the people are being onboarded. Okay, I've onboarded almost 13 people. And I never had a single one complaining about the gas. And here's why: because of the way I present it. Everybody knows, right? Dream account all day. Because when I start the conversation, we're talking about future valuation. We're talking about what I heard Gary say way earlier today. That was like, wow, that's a great topic. I want to hop on the stream. When you're talking about that building wealth and letting the equity grow and let it sit, right? Basic example, even in the real world, I've had friends. We literally started at the same time. They were as talented, worked us hard, whatever. We became, let's say, managers. We got free equities, but because they didn't have that mindset of like longer pays better, they had that instant gratification. They sold all their equity way back when the stock was like $4. Today we're almost closing at $100. Insane. The only difference is one waited, the other one did not. You know what I mean? I did cash out when it was around $80 and put into Hex. But the point is, there's people that just get something, you just dump it right away, versus people that understand the future valuation. So it's the way it's presented. When I talk with my friends, we're talking about 50 cents to $1 Hex. So it doesn't matter how much money that they have. Obviously, some have more than others. Like my sister, she only had at the time, first time, she only had $5,000. That's what she had. But the plan was, hey, you're not quitting your job. You're working. You're doing the same thing you've been doing. Let's just dump that shit of 1% APR of, stupid CD stuff. Let's go into Hex. Let's get 40%. So when that conversation is perfectly explained, which is solely on us, the educators, we're not even worried about the fee. We're just focusing on, can I get this thing staked so I can start earning some APY? And I think that will also make people not overtrade and let the price do what it's going to do. Like the whale will pump this thing, but people just got to stop pumping every 5 minutes. You know what I mean? So it's like
the problem, Kareem, is the virility. Okay. The problem is the virility. Okay. What do we got watching right now, RG?
200 people.
We're talking to 110 people. Okay. We can reach out and we can shake every one of those 110 people. Okay. And they would know. But the people that are getting some information and are too lazy to really dig into it or see the long-term vision or listen to our conversations about the long-term vision, all they're seeing is, if I buy $100 worth of Hex, it costs me $30 to ship it. And that's the problem. So yes, we might know the advantages of it because we've looked into it, but your average person doesn't dig that deep. They haven't made it to the damn cart button. And that's the trigger, and that's what's important.
And you're absolutely right.
What Gary was saying about Staker app is going to be a game changer, and why I've been so behind Staker app, and why I've been kind of picking at the guy saying, you guys better step it up, because Coinbase is going to list it, Monarch's going to list it. You guys better step it up. You better be our boys first. And I picked at him about that because there are ways to hide the fees in that sort of scenario where they believe they're getting free shipping. And the same thing with the flash loans for ending your stake. You are no longer paying to get your money. It's coming out of the money that you're getting back. So you're just getting less back, right? And that makes all the significance in the world to somebody. Oh shit, I gotta go on the Coinbase now, and I gotta get some ETH, and I gotta move it over to my wallet so I can remove my $10,000 that's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah,
right. So now it just comes out of that feed like, oh, okay, I'll take $20 less. What do I care? Right? Because it's not coming out of your immediate pocket, you know. Just like when we got
we're very culturally trained to borrow out of the future. We're culturally trained to always be borrowing out of the future. So that's actually an interesting narrative that Johnny just said, because you have you know, if you buy like soda pop and aluminum cans, you're actually paying for that, and then you have a redemption that's like, hey, if you redeem it, it's going to be 5 cents, you know. And some people, they'll crush cans and bring back bottles, and most people won't, right? But you know, that's kind of the same thing. Like you're saying, oh, you actually have value. You'll just get it on the back end. Like
the Coca-Cola bottles in third countries, you know, I mean, the glass one, when you return it, you get some money. But Johnny, what I would say, maybe it's because of my character, but I've always been the type of like entrepreneur, grassroots, not afraid to fight. So, and mainly optimistic. So yes, maybe it's 100 people today, but that's one of the beauty about technology, and why I think we're going to ultimately win is those videos are being recorded. Those videos are staying here. The same way if years down the line, people come and talk shit, be like, oh, nobody was here to educate the community or this or that, or teach us about the real value of Hex, when, you know, people are like much, much better off. We're going to be like, no. We have data. We have old videos. We have, you know what I mean? I've had people almost every other day ask me in the chat, hey, I heard about this talk about when you break down X, Y, and Z. Where is that? Boom. I can point them out. You know, Matty Allen streams, you know, Crypto Sparks Group, or any of you guys here. So I think our duty is just more to keep talking about it and to keep documenting it again, because just like in sales, like sometimes you have to repeat yourself 7 times. It's just the cycle. So
absolutely, man. No criticism. No criticism. There's nothing wrong with your message or reaching out and trying to share and spread that information. I'm just saying, as far as effectiveness, you know, for faster adoption purposes, the virality features, like the hidden gas costs versus the in your face separation, these are just mental blocks that are preventing us from being where we need to be. Of course, then again, like I said, at this point with the liquidity, shit, we could go up 10x tonight. We wouldn't even know it.
It's another pumpamental. It's these dark pattern pumpamentals that, you know, didn't get commented on. But, you know, we had these same spikes in the Bitcoin price to move in 17, and the Bitcoin and the Ethereum price to move, and all the ICO rush and things like that. We saw these fees back then. And what's interesting is, so did Richard, of course. But so what's interesting is this is another part of this. If you want to call it sales, but I just call it education. Hey, you know, this is called a staking coin, and this has a 15-year max term. And maybe that Schelling point is, you know, that's you're building this dream account. And you say, out of the percentage, even at today's price, here's what your amount of Hex will be. The inference of the person that hears the narrative is, okay, if I do it for a month, it's a very high transportation cost. It's 30% in order for me to get that $70 worth of Hex into my hands, right? But what is that percentage when you're looking at the transportation cost, the gas cost of today, when you stake it 15 years? What is that? Well, you don't know what the price is going to do. It may go up, it may go down, it may appreciate. Human beings may be taken over by Martians. Who knows? But 15 years from now, you know you're going to have this amount of Hex that's available in the contract for somebody to claim, and whoever has your keys or whatever, right? So when you have the narrative and you set the expectation, like Kareem said so well the other day, is we have been kind of the short game. Even though we're in Hex, we have this familiar experience of 2016, 17, 18 in our minds. And the idea was get in either first because you're part of the VC people that are first in, get in because you're going to get a 35% discount before ICO launch day or whatever. And then either dump right away, or because you saw the same chart play out over and over and over, you knew you had to sell that shit. You had to sell that shit. So it has become almost like you know, it's very hard to break habit. You can only
relearn behaviors.
Crazy self-fulfilling prophecy. And like Gary said, if you don't sell, you just feel dumb because you know they're going to dump. And and this is where I think it's our biggest opportunity, because if we can reframe that, guys, It's like I said in my tweet earlier today, it's blue sky breakout. I mean, it's that 0 to 1. It's that, hey, let's not do what everybody else does. Let's do something different. Yes, we're going to be hated at first, but then we know ultimately, because again, CDs are the biggest product in the world besides checking account, that once people really, really get it, that this is a safe zone, this island over here, this beacon is better, and thinking about the long term, that's going to change the game. And I'm saying this live on stream here, like another 10 more X guys, I'll be willing, you know, after I was thinking about a solution, I'll be willing to throw, you know what I mean, 500,000 million Hex towards some type of a pool where we'll just help the little guy just get no transaction fees if they use one of the sites that we know that we recommend or trust, maybe like a Staker app or whatever, because I know that, again, mathematically, thanks to the code and everything, by preaching the right thing and watching people have their thing grow, it's going to prepare that great behavior that's going to make it beneficial for everybody. Again, most of my friends, I just use the really simple methods. Like I just teach them everything, show the long-term vision, and then I just let them run. Like I did with my friend. You know, he put it 25K. He looked at it for 3 days, watched the gains start going up, and then he FOMO in another 80K, right? So it really just comes down to creating less friction, opening that path. So, and I'm looking forward to do something like that, because if people really understand that, it's going to be a game changer. Maybe we'll come up with a rule that says, hey, if you stake longer than the average length, I'm just thinking about it now, but if you stake longer than the average length or more, we'll pay your gas fee, something like that. Just to create that right behavior. So, and then also removing the excuses. Again, let's say like, I hate to hear excuses. Oh, I couldn't do it because of X, Y. No. We'll remove that one.
You know what would be interesting would be, if, you know, and again, it's kind of what I was kind of alluding to earlier. We are very public. I still don't say my entire name, but everybody knows I'm Gary, right? We're more public than maybe 2017 cycle. Most of us have pseudonyms and so forth. But it is interesting that most of your business and most of your family, most of the people you've had contact with, most of the people you went to school with and so forth, they knew who you were, right? You were part of a community. You were someone that was local, known, whatever. And that is part of our human nature as far as reading character, trust, and so forth, right? But we are in a digital world where, you know, even us as savvy and as open as we are, we're still hesitant, right, about these kinds of things. So I would agree with what you're saying about like this. I would contribute to a common fund that would basically pay the gas transfer cost on their end, on their completion of their promise, something like that, like a redemption, like a 5 cents back on your Coke bottle kind of thing I was talking about earlier. That kind of thing, I'll be like, that's okay. I'm not going to help you get in. You need to make the same commitment that a lot of us have made. I bought yesterday. I paid high gas. I'll buy next week. I'll pay high gas.
Yes, sir.
Am I doing it because I've already made gains in Hex? No, I'm not, because I haven't exercised those. I have a business. I run a business. I try to be innovative. I try to help other people get smart with their own monies or whatever it is that they want to do with their intention of life. So you should do the same thing. You want to create a content channel on YouTube and do some kind of influence thing and get paid for advertising, do that. You want to do videography and learn how to edit things that are obviously, we're going very digital in this world, learn that. So I don't like the narrative that someone's so poor and broke that they can't get in. You have skills, or you know people that have skills, and you can bring them together. So you have potential.
Well, not everybody can get into an investment product, period, end of story. That's just the way life is.
That's not true. You did. You
no,
didn't.
What I'm saying is that there are people out there that can't get into an investment product, period, and they don't belong in an investment product.
Okay.
If you can't afford to get in for the gas fees the way they are, then you know you can't. You just can't afford it. You can't do it if that's the type of.
Well, afford, in my mind, what I think of as afford is, how are you investing your time on a Monday night right now? You're investing your time in camaraderie with others, trying to educate others, or at least getting some kind of welding between us. So I see when people say afford, are you taking it out of your bank account? Are you taking it out of your wallet? Maybe not, but you're taking it out of your time. You're taking it out of your attention. You're not paying attention to the Kardashians. You're doing something else, right? So you have ability to afford things if you are breathing. in my opinion.
Equity. And I think RG, what also Gary's trying to say is kind of this typical analogy of like, hey, I can't afford this, but then I'm spending stupid money on some stupid stuff. Like,
yeah, there's
people that buy a $5 coffee and then they can't.
Exactly. Or buying the sneakers, the fancy stuff that doesn't really change anything in your life, but then you're telling me you don't have money to invest. It's just like it's a lot of backwards.
Well, no. See, what people are doing is they're trying to get you off the narrative from selling them on something. It's just an excuse. It has nothing to do with they can't afford it. What I was saying is that there's people that can't afford to pay a $30 gas fee because they're investing $50. They can't get in, period, end of story. That's just the way it is. Or you're going to put $20 in. That's what you're going to do. That's what I was saying. Those other people are just feeding you a line of bullshit because they want you to stop talking. That's what they're doing. I'm telling you, that's what they do.
Yeah,
they're giving you an excuse.
The people that give me the most shit are the people that I tried to help, 10 years ago, and they're upset. They're like, "Why didn't you make me do it back then?" I was like, "Do you not remember all the conversations? Do you not remember I tried to do this or whatever, or hire you or do something? Do you remember that?" They're like, "No." Like, whatever, dude.
There are some things we need to be aware of as the community, because you can have a good nature and want to help people, and then there are some people that you just can't help. And the kicker here is, like, for instance, the giveaways, right? Those are large amounts of Hex that are being given away, and that really needs to be reduced or split over several people. Give them a taste. Don't give them a Willy Wonka's golden ticket and set them loose into the world. If you are talking about paying somebody's gas fees, well, look. If they're having trouble with gas fees, they need to think a little bit more longer term and push it out, maybe beyond the current bull market, to where the fees are going to drop down at a lower date, where they can cash it in and make that income, but not think short-sighted. But sometimes rewarding negative behavior or falling into this trap of trying to pay somebody free money that's in the now and not trying to think about their future is not really beneficial to the project in any way. In fact, it just creates more sell pressure, and it ends up with people that don't know what they're doing anyway. So we need more quality over quantity. We need people that understand the product, and saving is not for everybody, especially in the type of culture that we're raised in, which is a buy now, pay later, and lottery mentality sort of scenario. We need them to understand this is a savings account, and we've got a lot of habits to break in people to teach them that, hey, look, there's something that actually pays you interest again. I know it's been a while, but there is something that actually pays you interest again, because banks don't do it. It's a new thing.
And I think, Johnny, another thing, because I want to clarify for everybody to understand, is, once again, I'm from Africa originally, to a country. When I say paying some of the gas fee, is because I also put in place the ramification of the global economy, because the DXY, the dollar index going down, whatever. But in people in my country, it's even worse. Some people forget that. I still remember days when I woke up, I was 16, overnight, we got devalued 50%. Okay, there was no fucking COVID-19. There was no whatever. It was an arbitrary fucking decision, right? Central bank just woke up the next day, be like, hey, we need to be able to still double the goods. So we're going to cut the currency in half so we can come back with the same money and get double the goods. So it's insane to me. So the reason why I think this is my way to kind of give back, you know what I mean? Because I like to do it. It makes me happy. So that, because I know for some people, it sounds crazy, but there's people that live with $10, $30 a month, but they're happy. They can pay their bills. They can do what they got to do. So if some of those people are able to do that, I don't know if you guys remember what Miss Linda said, grandma, about helping that person from Cameroon, which is a neighboring country for mine, about, helping the village and something like that. Like, that money goes a long way. So even those small players just be able to stake because they understand the value. They're staking what their net worth actually is. It's not even like a game. That's what they have. But that little compounding, even if it makes them like $1 or $2 a day, that's like in a week, that pays the bills for the month. You know what I mean? So it's perspective like that, because I'm thinking big. I'm thinking Hex global. I'm thinking all types of currency. I'm thinking you start now with $30 or whatever. Hex do 100X. It's $3,000. and you live in a village somewhere or whatever, third world country, dude, that can pay your bills for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I want to make those people get in.
Yeah.
And not be gate capped and be freaking, imagine taking that same $30 and freaking going to margin trading exchange. And then what? The party is 15 minutes. You get in, you get liquidated. Thank you very much. See you later. Bye. Close the account.
Well, you know, so Mark Cuban sold garbage bags door to door. I sold chicken eggs door to door. There's people I know right now that are in Africa that are selling cell phone minutes door to door. They're basically, they just trade in cell phone minutes. And so their currency is actually cell phone currency. So you have inside of you, if you're in the audience, you definitely have it, right? If you're not in the audience, there are people out there that just have a hustle to them. They will do what's necessary, right? So why I said that I watched RG's video, I've invested 5 hours into watching an hour-long keynote 5 times. And part of it is because he came from that lifestyle in Long Beach. He had that kind of origin story. He could have gone down a different path, but also because he gave up part of his. You talk about your back problems and things like that all the time. Working 16 hours, becoming a millwright, doing all these things that he did because he had responsibility on his plate, right? And still, with that responsibility, selling of his time, improving himself, improving his family, things like that, he had quote unquote fun money. What could he do with that fun money? Well, he could do the things he wanted to do, which was storing cars and things like that. But he ended up putting it in crypto in 17 and got wrecked. And he's fucking pissed at crypto, right? That thing was really amazing because you need people that have some weather to give you some knowledge and advice. Again, not financial advice, but advice on life. Because you don't understand at 25 what people that are in their 50s understand to a degree, right? It's a different world we're going into. But I got a lot out of it because that guy could have taken easier routes. He could have taken easier paths to grease the rails and live a different lifestyle. But he's doing something of integrity. So I think that there's a lot of people in the audience that can get a lot out of Hex, out of the ecosystem, out of the community, regardless of if they ever buy in a coin or not. They can get a lot out of it. You can be a productive person in the society.
Gentlemen, it's a 2-hour mark, so I believe it's appropriate for a swag update and soft shill to the community before we continue this discussion. I believe I've already cleared this with RG3. This is kind of a little bit of a soft shill, I call it, because we're not getting compensation for this at all. I have to give my shout outs to 2 people. The first is congratulations to Kool-Aid, who is issuing his new label of Bath-based box wine. And in his term, showing up is 99% of success. The other 1% is being really drunk. The next shout out is to a guy who's actually in the chat right now. His name is Crypto King. At least one other member of this community here on this stream has now ordered some of his sick ass lamps. The lamps that are the Hex logo, beautifully presented. I use one of them. I'm expecting 2 to come in for me soon. So we'll see if this is really legit or not. The first use that I can imagine would be to present it as a beacon to other hexicans out your window. If you're in a higher floor building, they'll know where to find you. And after Corona is done, they can enjoy some of that box wine with you. The other would be to use it to illuminate the floor so your children can find out where their kibble bowls are. That's really useful for me because I have 2 kids and therefore 2 lamps. And that's it. Thank you very much, gentlemen. That we now return to our previously scheduled program.
Yes. This is awesome.
That box wine?
Thank you.
It's like those automatic lamps that you have in the bathrooms when it's like when it goes completely dark, it just turns on automatically. That could be one of those.
Take a look on Telegram. He'll send you some shots. They're pretty damn sick.
They're
nice. Right?
Nice. I would do them. Yeah.
Yeah, they're cool.
They're really cool. Awesome. That was cool. I want to get the box of wine. I don't know if Kool-Aid's going to actually, if I order 6 boxes, do 6 boxes arrive or is it just like 3 empties?
I think it's just his
well, the problem is he's doing them in his bathtub and he's coming out with a couple extra gallons somehow. So you might want to think about what's going on there.
Yeah,
serve at room temperature.
That hair has to turn purple.
You could buy boxed wine from various sources. One of the restaurants I used to work in as a teenager, the dishwashers would go back there and set their head up underneath the tap and pop the boxed wines.
That's awesome. Yeah, I use the website as well. Another quick funny thing I want to add also what we're talking about just earlier. I just got an awesome message from Telegram. It's not just again Africa, but like even like Eastern Europe. There's a gentleman here sharing. Like how in area like Serbia, Eastern Europe, same thing. Like $50, $100, $200 goes a long way. And just having those people educated, putting the money away, letting it grow. It's just giving people more freedom, man, to participate into something that they already understand. Because again, those are the countries usually the most affected. Those are the countries that really understand how dangerous inflation is and how much they've been affected by that. So that's one of my goals, in the long run, if we can help those people out, because they clearly see the long-term vision. So when we say, hey, you just got to stake long, or, when it comes out of your stake, they're going to be like, yeah, no brainer.
So I have a lot of friends and I've had employees that are, oh, go ahead.
Going back to what you said about, high gas fees, that could be flipped on its head and actually looked at as one of those emergent properties that we talk about with Hex, right? Because if you all of a sudden have to pay, 30%, which is maybe 33% of your total stake in gas, you're going to think about staking longer because it's not worth it to you to just take that short term. So, depending on what your mentality, your perspective is, that could actually incentivize you to go longer. So,
and don't forget these gas fees are write-offs too. So,
are they?
I didn't know that.
Are they really?
They're right.
And you get
do it properly.
You can sell it.
Hey, if you can track my crypto, you can track my fucking gas fees. That's for damn
I can't even track my own crypto, man.
Yeah,
I know.
No, because he's right. Because technically,
don't worry, Silver's watching.
So yeah,
Silver's doing all of our.
He was saying about Eastern Europe. I've had employees and really good friends that are Ukrainians that live in. Kiev is the very popular city, but there's other parts of Ukraine that $400 a month is a lot of money. That's like covers your rent, whatever. And you're not living a baller life. That's a basic life. But $400 is really, that means that you wake up, you actually are at work. Like say you work in an office building or something like that. You are at work at like 6:30 or 7 a.m. Your end of the day is like 8 p.m. You go home, you go to sleep, and you work 6 days a week. That's the sophisticated life of Eastern Europe, right? You have challenges like you already commented about, places that they don't have land rights. So one of the reasons that Africa is one of the wealthiest places on the planet, as far as the geology, as far as the resources, as far as the human capital, as far as the intellect, as far as the language, there's all kinds of things that come out of Africa and the origins, I think, of our civilization, but they don't have government that they can trust because they don't have land rights. So why do you develop your house or your property or cultivate when it can just be swept away by the next person that has either strength, right? Strength of war, strength of politics or whatever, and just take away your asset. So people that can lock value into 12 words in their head or move with their wealth as far as their cell phone, where their cell phone has connection, then that's what they end up doing, right? So it is important. I think it's necessary. I've heard this OMG kind of narrative and things like that, Omesigo and things like that for years, but I really would like to make that kind of impact on what does ownership mean, yeah.
Amen, Gary. Amen. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And this is where this thing's going to bring more freedom, because another cool thing in Africa is the population, like 70-80% is all youth. They're all like in the early 20s and teens. So it's like long term. And some part of South America and Southeast Asia too, similar to that. And I think that's where the boom is going. And that's why also like in Europe, or, I don't know if you can comment on that, Papa Boner, but I've watched a lot of documentary in Japan about, the danger of aging population, to the point where they literally start to pay people, literally, and neighboring to come to Japan. It's crazy.
Yeah, not just that, but they're trying to move people out to the countrysides, to these pretty much dead communities. You can get a huge country house, a 2-story with land, rice fields, everything for like $30. Basically, they're begging people to get out there.
They're just
I'm going to be Japanese.
You got to live there, though. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
sometimes
I'm not big
each other because they want to. People don't understand. There's a lot of space. They just want to be like stuck or be in the city because they're afraid of being outside, but they don't understand that's where the opportunity is, right?
Yeah.
Again, walking that path least travel, not just being a sheep following the herd. You'd be like, no, I'm gonna be over there.
No Godzilla out there. Safe. You know what I mean?
What?
So I have a hard time onboarding people. I'm kind of done with it because if people, I don't have patience. I'm here to educate. You know, if they come, I'll let them know. I'll
give you
put
some
all
tips.
you guys out there. I will say something. I put a stream together so that people can learn and educate themselves as to what this is. Because I say this all the time. There's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. Because human nature has always been human nature, and we run in cycles. We're running through a cycle, guys. This is a cycle. This is a financial cycle that you can look in recent history and see has happened over and over again. Not just in crypto, but in the world right now. We're running into a cycle. You can see the writing on the wall. You can see the politics setting up for what is about to happen. There were products that people started using at this time years ago when the same cycle was happening.
Right.
Look at history, guys. Open up your history books or remember Depression, World War II, Reconstruction, all this stuff that happened. Guess what? We're having it again. We had our war. We're broke. Money has been stopping. The money machine has stopped. The wealthy are very, very wealthy, and that money's parked. People are clamoring for it. People need something to do. Well, it's setting up for the next to do. Well, the people are going to need to save. People are going to need to learn the saving. You guys, you younger guys, you don't understand. See, we were taught to save when I was a kid. They taught us how to put money in a savings account. We got our little savings account. You wrote it in a book, and that's what you did. You went to the bank and you put the money in the bank, and you had your little savings account. You know, and that was they taught you that. They don't teach you that shit no more. It's not how the world works. CDs aren't shit. There's no value in it. You guys are all looking for a gig. You guys are all looking for an online presence. You guys are all looking to figure out a way to make some extra money on the side or do something. Have a racket. Have a gig. Have something. And that's what society is today. It's not that old way of thinking, but the cycle is about to change again. We are going to see money come back in the same way it came back in before. Remember that money during the Reconstruction and all that was money that was given, that was created, that was made, that was pumped into the system, and people started to learn how to save and build wealth and do things differently than you guys have it today. The way you guys have it today. Now, Hex is the old way of thinking. It's nothing new. This isn't new. This isn't some great new fucking invention. This is saving money over time, delayed gratification. It's an old product that's just now making new headway in a new time. It's just nothing new under the sun. It's happening again. So that's what we're going to have to retrain everybody. I understand it. I see it because I was taught this shit when I was a kid. You know, you guys weren't. A lot of you. You know, Gary was. Gary understands. He knows. He remembers the little book that we wrote our savings account, you know, in, and you kept tally of it. We didn't have fucking computers and ATMs and all that shit. You went to the bank, you put your cash in the bank, and then they wrote it down in a book. You had a little book that you wrote that shit down in, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And RG, I think what's a little bit worse, and I want to share here because, you know, little devil advocate, but my generation especially too, you know, being born in, 1990, around that point when we talk about instant gratification versus, delay that for greatness, there's a couple of flaws that came in that fortunately, if you don't apply logic and challenge the common thinking, you will literally fall prey for it. So for example, a lot of the time it's like, hey, why save? There's fucking credit cards. Let's just go take that. You see, that was
that's what it's turned into. Yeah.
Diverse people from actually doing the right thing, which is the savings. Number two, when even some smart people do the math, they run the number, they're like, wait a minute, I'm saving and I'm getting 1% when my friend over there is making this other type investment or whatever. and he's making more. So it's like it made that thing worth less simply because the APR wasn't really there, because your generation and the one before, on the low key, they were getting 15 to 18%. So that thing wasn't there for us, so to speak.
Exactly.
And also another thing, in a fast-paced environment, fast life, inflation rising, you're young, and I'm probably talking to a lot of people right now watching the stream. You're young, you got no equity, you got no property, no wealth building, so to speak. You just got a regular job. You don't have your full degree yet. You're literally already in debt. And then you're like, how am I supposed to win this race? So, and then you end up doing more riskier things, you know, to some people end up doing crimes. Some people end up taking more risk, more debt or loan. And that's where the spiral comes in. You have to go deep and really understand the fundamentals of what capitalism is, which goes as follows, the 3 levels, right? Most people don't know how to make money. Fewer know how to keep it, and even less know how to multiply, right? And Grant Cardone talks about it all the time. The reason it's so powerful is because to make the money, first, you need to invest in yourself. You need to do what's called personal development, right? It's not the fun thing, but it's the first important thing that you need to do. The first $10,000
That's your sweat equity. That's what you have to put in.
The first $10,000 I ever made in my life, what did I do? I reinvested in myself. And that was the best investment I ever did. Why? Because it's me. I believe in me. I'm a sure bet. That money is going to go and make me grow. Then my skill got better. My skill got better. Now I start making more money. Then I reinvest in myself again, to the point where I start to learning the value of putting money away. And capitalism says you don't save to save. You save to invest. It's just so happened that along the way, while you're saving to invest, if shit happens, excuse my French, you have something that you can use for the rainy day. Make sense? So when I'm pulling the money away from my next big thing, or let's say I want to go, you know, RG, like you said, being your own boss and stuff like that, some of the smarter move, even Jeff Bezos did it, you know, work for a place, make 200-300 grand for like 5-10 years, put the money away, do your research. And when you're ready to go on your own, because you know, business on average, you know, it's going to take 2 to 3 years before you turn a profit. You have enough stash funds that you can be able to survive. So it just so happened that the methods ended up creating the savings, which if you're also smart about investing, you can put that away growing. So by the time you're ready to deploy the capital, you actually have the capital. So you see, that wasn't taught to us. The difference with me is I'm a go-getter. I'm a seeker. I went to seek the information. Heck, it wasn't even in my community yet, in my country. I had to go outside my way. I had to go work for people sometimes for free. I said, listen, I don't care what you're doing, but you're successful. I want to listen to what you're doing. I'll work for free, right? I'll knock on doors. I'll do whatever it takes. You know, 30 years old, I'm wearing wristband. What does it say? Whatever it takes. I'm committed. Affirmation, it's important. So but that's what we had to do, because, like you said, all we had was sweat equity, nothing else.
It's the phrase of preparation meets opportunity.
Yep.
You can't skip the preparation.
That's luck.
Well, I mean, so a similar narrative is Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't know if you've read his book. He's amazing in lots of ways. A lot of people got addicted to his social media platforms and things like that for a long time. So I used to watch him a lot, but I know met him one time. But he talks about being up to 34 years old. I think he worked for his father's wine business, and he ended up being making the wine library and all these things like that to start out with. And he lived in a shitty apartment for more than 12 years. I think he was 34 years old. He saved up around 150 or 200 grand, basically by living poor, but learning, right? And he's very likely to buy the New York Jets. He's the most successful. VaynerMedia and things like that are very rich.
He's probably going to do it. He's probably going to do it eventually.
I think he's definitely going to do it.
That's his goal.
VaynerMedia is the most successful marketing company, Madison Avenue in New York. I mean, it's past all of these legacy companies, basically because of understanding that method you were talking about, social media, about all the different platforms that we're basically engaging now.
Yeah, and that's what's unique about today is that I keep saying that there's nothing new under the sun and that we are in a cycle, but there's more tools today than there ever has been. Hex is a better CD than we had the little savings account book.
Exactly.
We have a lot better tools. We have the internet now where you guys can learn all of these things and more. I mean, it's every bit of knowledge is at your fingertips. And what I find interesting is that when I grew up, when I was, 8, 9, 10 years old, and they were talking about college, there was no college loan. You went to school if your family could afford it, or you were some kind of a badass in sports, or you were intellectual or something. Other than that, you wouldn't go into college. There was no loan to go to college. You weren't putting yourself in debt. You either went to college or you didn't, based upon your financial situation. There was no loans for college at that time, So that thing, I think, to be honest, I mean, I don't want to get into all of that. I think is a scam, but
no, you're absolutely right. It is a scam. And for those
who don't know, it is.
Let me tell you guys some stats. Way back when, because I talk to a lot of my customers, they're elderly, they'll tell me this all the time, because I'm in Massachusetts. It's all about school here. Way back when, your tuition, let that sink in, was $500 freaking a year.
Yep.
A freaking year. And that's like low key right now, because we have higher education here in Massachusetts. It's like minimum 30 grand. The high end school, like, again, we didn't know better. My dad sent us there because, you see the ads on TV. You back home in Africa, you think, oh, wow, we got to go there because it's the best school, right? And then you go there, now it's 70 grand. 70 grand a semester sometime. I mean, it's just disgusting. So it was a scam. Again, not to give those people a reason, but my generation, we got sold that scam. And if you're not really a go-getter, if you don't know why you're really actually going to school, if you're not trying to like, hey, okay, it's a 5-year program, F that. I'm going to do it in 3.5. I'm going to do summer classes. Because you're trying to save money, because they know, and it's very predatory. They know that, okay, you're 18-year-old, you're broke, you got no money. But Sally Mae, aka the government, is going to guarantee that you can go to college. Therefore, they're going to create the loan, which, by the way, you can't default on. So those universities prey on that. And they use the excuse that, oh, we have too much applications. That's why we have to raise the price. Bullshit. It's such
they used to have counselors. Now they have sales professionals.
So for a single,
it's an investment. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee you're
in a family. A single earner, it was like 1/5 of that earner's annual salary would pay for their kid to go to college. Right. Exactly. And if you had utility, if you had function out of it and it actually did something for you, educated your kid, then it had value. It educated your kid. But then they started adding all of these different things into the curriculum to say, let's have filler, right? Let's have all this stuff that really doesn't provide utility, right? We talked about this the other day as far as Richard saying, do you need to remember the 8 planets in the order from the sun or something like that, right? Yep. So what is the actual utility? And socially it got poo-pooed. Again, parents want their best things for their kids. They kind of buy into that narrative that the kid has to be college educated, not trade school educated. And so all the plumbers and welders and people that actually make this world go around, they were like shunned. They're like, oh yeah, you're a small business. Oh yeah, you're self-employed. You're selling your time to other people as a customer. Fuck you. You're not Ivy League or whatever. So that's all bullshit. That's the scam of education, in my opinion. But
and then also, you have a pandemic, and then you see which skills are actually really needed, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's running around with their piece of paper that they owe hundreds of thousands of dollars on that is absolutely useless.
Yep. It is.
They've been better off buying Hex.
College, people that are college educated, and I have a lot of respect for everybody out there who's college educated, because you guys have done something, achieved something that I haven't been able to do. You guys have an experience though, and an intellect that there is value in it. Yeah, the piece of paper may not be worth a bunch, but all the college educated people that I know, you guys have value. There is value there, because I see the difference in intellect from people who've gone to college and people who haven't. It's there. Now, I'm not saying that people that don't go to college aren't smart or can't be intelligent or can't be, geniuses and all that kind of stuff. I see that too. But people that have gone to college, they have an experience level and an intellect level that advances them in the world. Period. End of story. They are advanced people. So there is value in that. Whether or not you get some specific skill or something out of it, some value, you still get. You still have an intellect that I have respect for. Being a guy from the streets that knows street smarts and all that kind of stuff, I see that value in people that have gone to college. But what I was going to say was, like for an instance, and I don't want to dox him too much, but I'm going to throw it out there, because this guy's great, man. Kool-Aid is he's doing all this stuff for all of us. What a big freaking heart that guy has, because he came and helped me put all this together, and this is what my son does. My son does CG work, and I'm putting a 19-year-old through college right now, and so I know the fees, I know what it costs. My son is into the graphics and whatnot, so he's going to college, and he's learning all these things in school. But Kool-Aid decided, hey, your son, can you mind if I tell him a couple of tips or whatever? So now he's like full blown, mentoring my son. My son is meeting people in the industry that he wants to work in. He's doing projects. He's interning and doing work, and he's getting more value out of working with somebody in the industry than he is getting out of college, Yep. And it's really cool. And that's what's available today, is that people are out there mentoring people through the internet and all this stuff that, Kool-Aid wouldn't have been available to my son because he's in a completely different state. Now they can literally spend their free time together on the internet, passing projects back and forth to each other and passing knowledge and information. And, my son's interning for him basically over online. So there's all these tools out there, and the value of that is just, astronomical. I can't even thank him enough.
So the concept of college was that you were going to a place where people knew things, and they were going to relay those things that they knew to you, right? But what you find a lot of the time is the professor, the teacher, the educator doesn't know what's going on. They know what happened in the past, but they don't know what's going on. They're registers of historical events. So if you go to learn, current computer technology, you're not really going to learn it in college. You are going to learn it from hacking around, fucking around with your friends, and trial and error, maybe finding someone that's in that industry, right? And so instead of going to a center point of education and having information relayed to you from one center authority, you do better like RG3's kid, right? You say, okay, here is what I can think of it like you're entering a library. You can spend all of your time learning the romance novel section. I don't know if that's going to get you very far, right? Or you can spend all your time learning metallurgy in some kind of other section as far as the sciences or something. Maybe that's your passion. So I like education in general, but I think that the responsibility for your finance is in crypto or in financial education or savvy. I think that your responsibility for your education is on you as well. You want to spend a lot of your time watching people smash shit on fucking YouTube, then do that, right? You're not going to get very far, in my opinion. But you are going to get far from listening to people that are speaking the knowledge that you seek specific to how you're going to basically perform in this world, or what you're going to build, or what you're going to develop or employ other people, right? You can learn those tools. They're available. It's just how you spend your capital. It's a capitalist concept. You have capital of 168 hours a week. Everybody alive has 168 hours a week.
Amen.
Do you stay up late? Do you not stay up late? Do you participate in camaraderie? Do you share information between each other? And the general knowledge concept, the general education, the go to 2 years of the local college so that you can have the same foundation everybody else has, so that later you can specialize and spend 6 years doing something else. No, fuck all that shit. If you have the ability, go to school for that particular niche and specialize right away. Talk to people that are the top 10 people in that subset and only talk to those people. Really, there's no reason in the internet era to spend all of the time talking to your local people that don't really know your niche you have an interest in.
Yep. And the other
in general is just buying yourself a ticket to prove that you're capable of learning.
Right. Johnny did something I was going to comment on just now was this guy develops new products that never existed before. How does he do it? Part of his trial and error, part of it might be understanding of chemistry, might have something about his curiosity that drives him to seek out the source for the product that he wants to develop that he can retail as an entrepreneur. So there are examples of people that say, this shit doesn't exist. I think there's a demand for it. Let me find out. Yeah, okay, I need to make that. Like, I like the makers of the world, the builders of the world for those reasons.
So with that, I'm gonna close the stream up with that, because here's what I wanted to say. This is what's really cool about the growth of this stream and what's happening. What's happening here is not only have we created a community and we've educated people about Hex, but iron is sharpening iron now here. And that's what we've got. We've got a lot of people that have a lot of different value in a lot of different areas, and we're all sharpening each other up, which is, I mean, there's more value growing in this community than I think we all realize, because I'm learning so much from all of you guys and all of the people that are in Hex, and the value that's coming back to me and my family from it is just, I mean, it's more than my Hex gains, to be honest. The community is growing that fast. It's the people and the value of the people to my life has been growing faster than my Hex gains, to be honest. That's what's happening here. And it's really, really fucking cool to watch.
Very cool.
Amen, Captain. That's what.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming on tonight. I appreciate all of you, and we will be back. Don't forget, tomorrow is Knipple's morning show. Discourse Syndicate with some coffee.
You got to say what
he
time.
is going to be there at 5 a.m., guys, because he's got something to do. So he's going to open up at 5 a.m. Mountain Time. That would be 4 a.m. Pacific, and whatever that would be on the 2 plus 2.
I'll be there too. But I'm going to sleep in.
God, is that? Yeah. That's 3 hours after. So that's.
Is he a half hour later, RG?
Yeah. RG is 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
4 a.m. for Mountain Eastern Time. It's 2 a.m.
No. Eastern Time's ahead.
I thought it's half past. Was it half past? He said
Eastern
2 hours
time,
ahead.
12:30 here.
It'll be 7 o'clock Eastern Time is what it'll be.
So I get to wake up at 8. I'll be there too, but I get to wake up at 8 a.m. All you other fuckers can wake up early.
In case he's
the Kraken. All right, guys. Let me put a little. I tried to get the lemons out of Dlive because there's problems in Dlive right now, guys. So let me give you guys a little bit of lemons here. Come on.
Tell real quick, what is the Dlive thing? Is this the platform you're going to participate in? Are you really a Twitch guy or YouTube guy? What's the direction?
You know what? I'm worried about Twitch because Twitch wants you to sign a contract with them.
Wow.
I do like this new thing called oh gosh, it starts with a starts with a TH. What's his name? Beard Aussie gave it to me. He gave us a stream.
Theta.
What is it? Theta. It's Theta. So we're gonna try Theta, and I don't know. Richard posted another platform yesterday, something about, I forget the name of that one too, but there's another platform out there. So I don't know. I don't want to get cornholed into anything. I haven't set up the YouTube, monetization. But I'm not sure about what's going to happen to Dlive after all this stuff, because they're in a lot of hot water right now. So I hope the best for them.
Captain, as the resident grammar Nazi, a cornhold is probably not the word that you wanted to use. It's probably pigeonhole, because cornhold could be very painful for you, especially if you didn't want to get into something like that.
That's what I'm saying.
He said he did not
want to be cornholed.
Yeah, you don't want to be cornholed into something like that. Yeah.
Pigeonholed is lightweight shit. I don't want to get cornholed.
You want to get really reamed. I get it.
I don't really want to get reamed. Yeah. And then there's dipping it in sand and everything. Anyway, it could get worse. So
what the fuck are y'all talking about? God damn it.
I have no clue.
All right, so let's release this Kraken here and see who gets it tonight.
Well, that just fits right on the conversation.
In conclusion, be smart. Look at the risk-reward ratio.
You don't
go to high school, you have to, and in college, think about it twice. If you're going there, make sure you know why. That's my tip.
Very smart, Hexy Mofo. Very smart. Yeah, he said I can do it some other how. I guess we can do like Silver does. What if Silver does, like a Patreon account or something? I'm not too worried about it. It's all gone back in. Brand, you got the lemons. Dollar cost crypto. What's that name doing up there?
Okay. Oh wow!
I fought the urge to.
Joe Exotic, Ozzy Mendias 369 got 35, and Johnny No Damn Good got 30.1 lemons. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. And let's see, there it is.
It's awesome.
See you on Wednesday on your Discourse Syndicate.